Thanks for the call, Chuck. Butch, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Butch.
Good afternoon, Howie. Great show as usual.
Thank you.
I'm going to mention something about Slick Willie. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. His uncle, he had an uncle that had a big, giant dealership, car dealership in Arkansas. He had a lot of clout. So when the draft numbers came out, Slick Willie went to his uncle and he says, please get me an ROTC. Please, I want to be an ROTC. I don't want to go in this regular Army. Oh, you know this story?
No, I thought he got. Wait a second, Butch. I think you got the chronology a little wrong. He got into ROTC or whatever it was. He got some kind of deferment deal, and then he waited until the lottery came through in the fall of 1969. And his number came up high, so he realized I don't have to go through basic training and do 6 months active duty or all that kind of stuff. And so he just basically, I don't know if you want to call it deserted, but that was the effect of it. Yes.
Well, they say his uncle went away shaking his head, say, "Why the hell did I ever help this guy?" Because he begged his uncle to get him off ROTC after the number came out.
Right. Well, I think I don't think Clinton. I don't think Clinton knew what his number was going to be. If it was going to be number 1 or number 365. If it was number 1, he needed to have that ROTC deferment, Reserve Officers Candidate School or training. But he didn't need it, so that's when he decided to take the Rhodes Scholarship instead. Yeah, that's what it was. Thanks for the call, Butch. This is all coming back to me now. I just remember everybody, because I was like one of the handful of people in my college dorm who was too young to be taking part in that lottery that year. But everybody was, they were either ecstatic or they were just downfallen. They couldn't believe it because if they were low and they thought they were going to get drafted. It was a very important night in a lot of people's lives. 1-800-844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
He didn't come here to be made sport of. Howie Carr.
Are you sick and tired of waking up during the night to go? Those constant interruptions during the day? A common problem for men of a certain age. Well, after a few months of taking Prostate Revive, this is no longer an issue for me, and it doesn't have to be for you either. This all-natural formula created by renowned holistic physician Dr. David Brownstein was formulated to target those uncomfortable issues related to prostate health. I'm proof that all-natural Prostate Revive takes care of my prostate issues. I'm sleeping restfully through the night, and everyone knows that a great night's sleep is critical to a productive day. Prostate Revive works for me, and I know it can work for you too. The people at Prostate Revive are offering my listeners a special deal to try Prostate Revive. That's right, my listeners can get a 30-day supply risk-free. Just pay $4.90.
Be grossly generalistic. You can put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. But that other basket of people are people who feel the government has let them down, the economy has let them down, nobody cares about them.
Likely have a condition known as insulin resistance. Insulin resistance slows down your metabolism and makes it difficult to lose fat and very easy to store it. For over 5 years, I've been working with the team at Golo who have created an affordable, all-natural, real solution that helps reverse insulin resistance, resulting in lasting weight loss with some pretty amazing health benefits. This is not a gimmick. If you want to get off the diet merry-go-round, then Golo's your chance. So go to Golo.com. That's Golo.com to find out if you have insulin resistance and get on the road to reversing it and feeling great. That's Golo.com.
Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from Numana. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency emergency. You're an outdoor sports enthusiast. New Manna is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure water pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at foodforliberty.com.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. As many of you could probably guess, I love to shop. But you know what I don't love? Waiting in long lines at the dressing room and dealing with crowded parking lots at the mall. Or in my case, being bombarded by gaggles of adoring fans. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I can imagine it'd be a hassle. But luckily for me, I can get all of my shopping done at the most convenient store in the country. The Howie Carr Show online store at howiecarrshow.com makes shopping easy, convenient, and most importantly, affordable. Whether I want a Hillary for Prison t-shirt or a copy of Brothers Bulger to read poolside, I always go to howiecarrshow.com. And when I'm on pug duty, I love whipping out my Hillary doggy poop bag to help clean up after Gunnar and Pearl. There is no better and cheaper store around than the Howie Carr Show online store. So go to howiecarrshow.com and click on store. There is always a great deal waiting for you, and I can guarantee all of your friends will be super jealous when you show up to the next BBQ decked out in the latest awesome t-shirt, courtesy of the captain himself. Go to howiecarrshow.com now. That's howiecarrshow.com. Click store.
If someone you care about is struggling with addiction in any form, from alcohol and chemical dependency to gambling, gaming, or sex, there is hope and compassionate help available. Right Turn, located in Watertown, Massachusetts, offers extended care for addiction in a caring environment where each individual and family is treated with dignity and respect. Right Turn's experienced team includes intervention professionals, psychiatrists, physicians, social workers, and other top addiction specialists. Their approach is a unique combination of evidence-based treatment and creativity, using art, music, and writing to help individuals define themselves and become part of a community of creative people who support each other in recovery. Learn more about the wide range of services Right Turn can offer. From family interventions to extended housing, the journey to recovery can begin today. Visit right-turn.org.
Seven 781 says, text me, the number of U.S. troops in Iraq was 4,647, and then 560 more were sent in July. So I guess there's 5,000 now. And 617 says, Clinton signed a ROTC contract. That means he's going to, commit to being in the Reserve Officers Training Program. When he got his low lottery number, I call it a high lottery number, but whatever, he wasn't going to get drafted. He wrote an anti-war letter to the ROTC commander. His very influential uncle got him out of it, but was disgusted. I thought he just ran away. I thought he didn't wait till he, was actually absolved of his contractual obligation. I thought he just went away to England and, they just kind of dropped it. They didn't prosecute him at all. Anyway, today's poll question is brought to you by Golo.com. Your problem with weight loss might be insulin resistance. For the truth about weight loss due to insulin resistance, go to Golo.com and find out. That's Golo.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Should Donald Trump change the way he talks about Russia and Vladimir Putin?
No, I don't think he should. He's no need to.
18% say yes. I would be in that camp. I don't like him cozying up with Putin. Putin is a very, very bad man. I think he needs to talk tough.
I don't know why. What's the problem? Putin does business with the Clintons. Let them answer for their business. Their transactions with him and the Clinton Foundation and the uranium, et cetera, et cetera. Donald Trump just says, he wants to compliment me. It's not going to affect how I deal with him. I just take everybody as they come. Trust everybody, but cut the cards. That's an old saying, and it's a good saying, I think. Sunday is the 15th anniversary of 9/11. The 15th anniversary. That means there are high school freshmen now who weren't even alive, weren't born when the planes hit the World Trade Center, And we had our client party last night here at the Howie Carr Radio Network, and I had a chance to talk to Tracy from Wicked Good Cupcakes, and that's one of our sponsors, and they have great, great cupcakes, as you well know. She told me about an idea that she and her daughter Danny came up with as a way.
In the United States, who still aren't getting enough to eat. That is also connected to education. And we still have a lot of children in a country so wealthy that on a day-to-day basis are not getting the kinds of educational opportunities that they deserve.
On how you can take part in this great cause. WickedGoodCupcakes.com. And by the way, the cupcakes are wicked good.
Did you get to have one last night?
No, not really.
I think they were all eaten by the time I got there. Some of your party guests were taking 3 or 4 out in their.
There's still too many children in poverty in the United States who still aren't getting enough to eat. That is also connected to education. And we still have a lot of children in a country so wealthy that on a day-to-day basis are not getting the kinds of educational opportunities that they deserve. You know, we have enough wealth to do it. The question is whether we have the political will to make the investments in these communities, many of which are in inner cities. Oftentimes they are poor African American or Latino who are still held back historically by discrimination. Because we're such a big country, we haven't always had to know about other parts of the world. If you're in the United States, sometimes you can feel lazy and think, you know, we're so big, we don't have to really know anything about other people.
I think he cares about some real, legitimate issues that have to be talked about. If nothing else, what he's done is he's generated more conversation around some topics that need to be talked about.
You know, we've had to deal with racism or conflict between races, ethnic groups, new immigrants. Also, America's not perfect. Look, it still has racial discrimination, and it still has its own problems. It should worry about its own problems. And I agree with that in the sense that we definitely do still have problems we have to work on. We still have discrimination. We still have situations where women are not treated equally.
We didn't think through all the implications of what we did. You know, when you see the dropping of cluster bombs, trying to figure out how that was going to be effective, particularly since part of the job was to win over hearts and minds. With the benefit of hindsight, we'd have to say that a lot of those consequences were not ones that served our interests.
You know, the way that Native Americans were treated was tragic.
We're a nation that was founded on the belief in the dignity of every human being. Sometimes we've struggled to stay true to that belief.
If you see the environment destroyed, it's not because that's necessary for development. It's usually because we're being lazy. Look, the United States is still learning how to do this, and we've been at it a long time. But we used to have terrible pollution everywhere. Now, given our history here, I believe that the United States has a moral obligation to help Laos heal. For 9 years, there was a secret war in which the United States was dropping bombs on this country. As a result of that conflict and its aftermath, many people fled or were driven from their homes.
The United States dropped more bombs on Laos than Germany and Japan during World War II.
The United States dropped more than 2 million tons of bombs here in Laos.
You can see some of these displays showing everything that landed on relatively simple homes like this.
As one Laotian said, the bombs fell like rain. Villages and entire valleys were obliterated. The ancient plain of jars was devastated. Countless civilians were killed.
By some estimates, more bombs per capita were dropped on Laos than any other country in the world.
That's the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Liquor and More, with 5 locations, including South Yarmouth. Liquor and More, a proud supporter of life's memorable moments. And joining me now on the show is Curt Schilling, the former great Red Sox and Phillies and Diamondbacks pitcher, and he's now retired, former ESPN color commentator. And he's going to be starting a new show tomorrow.
Just got a new job.
That's right, you got a new job.
Boss.
Yes, on the Howie Carr radio network. He's going to be on from 9 to noon every Saturday for the starting out on the network here. And if you want to listen to him, he'll be on a few stations tomorrow. We'll give you the list, but you can listen to him online at CurtSchillingShow.com. CurtSchillingShow.com, and the backdrop will look a lot like the Howie Carr Show backdrop. And he will also be available to you can watch him on closed circuit TV on the CurtCom, which is a lot like the Howie Cam.
Mine's just younger and hipper.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Yeah, younger and hipper. That's all right. And I'm wearing a tie here, and you're wearing a T-shirt. What does your T-shirt say, Curt Schilling?
My T-shirt is a picture of Washington crossing the Delaware, and it says, "We'll kill you, America. We'll kill you in your sleep on Christmas."
That's nice. I like that. So you'll be this. So if you want to call in, we'll have a number for him, and CurtSchillingShow.com. You can listen to him, and again, he'll be on a couple of stations, and we'll let you know. You can just go to CurtSchillingShow.com, and you can find out where you can hear him on terrestrial radio. And the broadcast will be available all weekend. We'll just keep replaying it over and over again. So if you miss him 9 to noon, you can hear him anytime this weekend.
And you can also follow me. I'm at Garrick38 on Twitter. I'll be periscoping while I do these things. So I prefer CurtSchillingShow.com because you can interact, you can call, and all things go with that. But I'll be periscoping as well, so people will be able to look and see wherever they're at. That's great. If you want to ask Curt Schilling any questions here, he'll be with us this segment on the Howie Carr Show at 844-500-4242. And so you enjoying that story about David Brock? Well, you know
not an uninterested, but a disinterested observer. That means he's neutral and impartial.
Right. Except for the fact that he... pro-Clinton super PAC guy and all the things that he did.
George Soros.
Right. I mean, this is. I'm scared that we've come to expect this. This is just okay. This is the news for today. But let's get past it and we'll go to tomorrow. Like, this will be done at the end of the today because they'll give us something tonight. It's almost like they're force feeding us till we get sick of it and we just throw up.
They're treating this guy David Brock. He's demanding that Chris Wallace from Fox News Channel be taken off the third debate. He's the moderator of the third debate, but they want him off. But again, that's his right. He can say that. He can say whatever he wants. But they're treating him like he's an umpire.
Well,
it's like Kellyanne Conway saying she doesn't want Candy Crowley or Tom Friedman on the New York from the New York Times on one of these.
But we
debates.
just talked about this. You know, you and I both know exactly what they're trying to do, which is put somebody in front of Trump that will elicit a response to the moderator instead of the question, to make him look less and less politically professional as they can, which I think backfires to some degree every time they try and do that, because that's the appeal for a lot of people, is that he's not Clinton. He's not an entrenched, established guy. And I don't want to say I laughed at it, but when you listen to the other night about his answer about the Iraq War, at the end of the day, he was a private citizen. Who cares what his opinion was? She was in the trenches making the decisions. Mm-hmm. Now he's got her huge mistake and stupidity to learn from and build on, to not make those same mistakes.
Well, you notice too that she admitted it because it's a roll call vote. She can't deny it.
Right.
I mean, the proof is right there. It's incontrovertible. But then she says immediately, "I made a mistake in voting for George Bush's war."
Right.
She just puts it on George Bush totally. Like her husband was promoting the fact that Saddam Hussein had these weapons of mass destruction, and John Kerry, the current Secretary of State, voted for the war.
Well, if there would have been no vote, if her husband would have done his job, there would have been no vote. Number one, and number two, when you look at what she did and what she said the other night, she followed that up with, to me, a statement of immense stupidity, which was, "We will not put more boots in the ground in the Middle East."
Yeah.
When are they going to learn not to say dumb stuff before they can actually do it?
Well, as I just pointed out, though, too, that she was wrong, too, because we already have 5,000.
Right.
Even the New York Times admitted that today. This left unanswered questions about whether, this is the New York Times, ripping into Trump and saying, you can't have a neutral, a fair and balanced debate. This left unanswered the question of whether she had made a promise she can't keep, particularly since there are some special operations forces in both battlefields now.
Last year we signed an agreement with Afghanistan that allows us to have troops in there till 2024. People don't know that.
Yeah.
We didn't sign that agreement for giggles. We signed that because we understand.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is, most politicians, when they're asked questions like this, say, I'm not going to answer a hypothetical. For just the very reason you brought up. You can't paint yourself into a corner because you don't know what events are going to be in the future.
Well, close Guantanamo Bay, right? That was going to happen 8 years ago. What a disaster and nightmare that's turned out to be.
I know. Well, now they're reopening some of it as a hospital. I noticed that's not getting too much media attention too. Here I got a couple of stories for you here. This guy, you're going to be talking about stuff like this. Okay, what's the first headline here? Curt Schilling.
Emails detail State Department effort under Clinton to aid Walmart.
Okay, okay. So here's the same newspaper, the Washington Examiner. Here's the second headline.
Walmart's Walton family backing Clinton.
That's just a coincidence.
That has to be a coincidence.
Is it a funny coincidence, Curt, or is it a peculiar coincidence? Funny ha-ha or funny peculiar?
It's funny they think we're that stupid. They really do. I mean, this is the at the heart of the pay for play, right?
Yeah.
This is what she does. This is not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody gave her money and she's going to do them a favor. This is exactly what we expect and what she expects for people to give her money.
Live from the People's Republic of Massachusetts.
Our president basically said that we are lazy when it comes to world affairs.
It's the Curt Schilling Show.
Don't want to be an American idiot.
Lena Dunham, in my book, she's a bullion.
Don't want a nation under the new media.
If Bill Clinton would have done his job, there would have been no Bin Laden.
It get you with the sound of hysteria.
It's scary stuff how hard the media is attempting to skew the narrative.
The subliminal mind, America.
The next president that goes into the White House got to fix 8 years of absolute buffoonery and embarrassing representation of the United States of America around the world.
Troublemaker extraordinaire, Curt Schilling.
Your radios, your internet is not broken. This is the Curt Schilling Show, the first ever Curt Schilling Show, and I'm Curt Schilling. You can call in today, talk to me, 1-844-900-3838, text 680-680. This is opening day, Steve. My second opening day to my second career, I think.
I think it's going to be spectacular.
I think we're going to have fun. It's going to be something.
Hey, Grace and I are going to try and keep up with you back here.
Then you're going to have to. This is a weekend of days. I hate to say anniversary because I don't think it's an anniversary, but 15 years ago was 9/11. And this was the defining event of a generation. There are freshmen in high school that weren't alive at that time, but it's one of those situations, one of those times, one of those places when we should never forget. But there are stories out there today across the country and around the world that I think beg to be discussed, because when you look at where we were and where we've come, I'm not so sure it's all the good things we would want it to be. But I guess the overarching image I have is 15 years ago, if you remember 9/11, if you were alive during, if you were old enough to remember it, athletes in sports, being one of those athletes and being in sports, were used as inspiration, motivation. I can remember seeing national anthems with athletes in tears and fans in tears, and the Pat Tillmans of the world were people that were being lauded by the media for his selfless sacrifice, giving up his NFL career and going to the Middle East. And today, we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks and the fact that entire team might possibly sit during the national anthem, which I don't even know where to begin with that one, Steve. I don't. How
about the fact that Pete Carroll is apparently a 9/11 truther?
He is.
What?
But you know what? That's what happens when people get disconnected from planet Earth for any period of time. And when you look at the story, and people are using a lot of backstory to this, and from the standpoint of the NFL said no to the Dallas Cowboys, who wanted to put a sticker on their helmets to memorialize the officers assassinated in Dallas. And I know that side of it. The reason they didn't allow that is because nobody paid for that helmet space. It's the same embarrassing, disgusting scenario around the fact that the NFL celebrates heroes, militaries from all branches, as long as that military branch pays them to do so. And I don't think a lot of people knew that as well. So it's embarrassing. We pay the NFL to patriotically celebrate our military. But the entire Seahawks team is talking about sitting. And I don't believe that there's any chance that 53 guys think it's the right thing to do. Number one, it's still propagating a false narrative. The Black Lives Matter movement was founded on a lie, and the data behind it is a lie as well. And I'm curious to know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and how, more importantly to me, how the people and the fans are going to react to the Seahawks. 1-844-900-3838, text 680-680. A lot of stuff to talk about. We got my Keith Folk today is going to be Ann Coulter, who will be here to close out the show with me the last half hour. So I'm very fired. My first guest. Wow, that's cool. So and again, everything's on the table. We're talking about chickens. We're talking about 9/11. We're talking about the Clintons and every deplorable thing they continue to do on a daily basis that gives us fodder day after day. And the conversation around the families, the conversation around 9/11 and all the lives that were lost in the towers and sports and athletics and all of those things that I think drive the narrative a lot of times in this country.
When you were playing for the Sox, were you ever involved in any paid expressions of patriotism?
No. And had I known, I would have said something publicly and probably gotten in trouble. That's embarrassing. I thought it was a lie. I thought people were making that up when I read that. And then when I did read it, because you see the owners and talking about how patriotic I'm a Bruins season ticket holder. I was devastated to learn that happened with the Bruins. So, I'd like to see that change. But there's a political angle now to this as well. 15 years later, Congress is sending a bill to the White House that would allow family members of 9/11 victims to sue Saudi Arabia for its alleged complicity. Obama is certain to veto, which, are you kidding me? That boggles my mind. What is this? What about the loyalties of our president, and what does this say? And to those that don't know history or don't understand, there is precedence here. During the Civil War, Great Britain had signed a neutrality act with the United States. They weren't going to support the North. They weren't going to support the South. After the Civil War, the North discovered that the Great Britain had built ships for the Confederate Army. One particular ship, the USS Alabama, had actually killed Northern soldiers and civilians. Great Britain paid a massive reparation to the United States government for that act, and Great Britain was an ally. Now we're talking about a country that on paper is an ally, but are they? And not allowing us to take care of our citizens. But more importantly to me, the president's first and foremost important job is to protect the safety of the citizens of the United States. Why on earth? Now listen, these are never cut and dry, never black and white. There's always going to be an argument and a debate about the trickle-down effect. And I get it. There's negotiations, but if your country and your people can't come first in every negotiation, why are you doing the job?
Well, I think his argument would be that maintaining a good relationship with Saudi Arabia keeps a balance of power in the Middle East and ultimately does work to advance the American national security interest.
But if you're maintaining relations with a country that funds people that kill your citizens, why are you so concerned about that being a great relationship? And if they're not, then they would come out and say, no questions asked, unequivocally, terrorism, Islam is all of the things that we want to hear them say, and they don't. And so, I don't know. That to me is one of those. We've asked. First of all, why is it just happening now? It's 15 years later. Why? But we sent, as conservatives, we sent these people to office to effect change in our government, to put America first, and to do all the things that Americans want to have done, and they haven't done it. This is the first time they've done it. Now, this is the first time we're talking about a veto override. How on earth, given this guy's track record, Is this the first time in 8 years we're talking about a new override of a presidential veto?
Well, say what you want about Newt Gingrich, but he had a good strategy in the 90s, which was, make them veto your agenda. Just because he's going to veto it doesn't mean it's not worth passing, a fix for Obamacare, these kinds of bills, any kind of bill. Make him veto your priorities so you have something to campaign on. Instead, they just... I don't know. They're scared of him vetoing something,
well,
I guess.
You know what that does, though? That does open the question for me. I really believe, or the conversation, I really believe this has to be a high information campaign for the voter. People need to get informed. People need to understand the Zika thing that's going on through Congress and going through the House and all the things that they're doing. Got vetoed by Democrats yesterday, or by Republicans, because, as is the case with all of this legislation, or Democrats vetoed it because Republicans attached a rider that would defund Planned Parenthood. And then you remember a couple months back, people said Senator McCain voted against a bill that would help and provide health care for veterans. And people said, oh, he's anti-veteran, which if you know him, that's a joke. But more importantly, he did that because of the amendments and the riders attached, which is what our government is. That's why we're being killed by death by 1,000 cuts. And that needs to change, along with term limits. That's one of the things that has to change about our government, because you're just not getting the real picture as the voting block of this country. 1-844-900-3838. Text 680-680. We are going to go to my first, Derek, on line 1. You're my first caller ever. Thank you. What's up?
Oh, such an honor to be
Thank you.
Here on opening day to Mr. Curt Schilling. I'm going to crack a beer open and just enjoy the day. Anyways, I was on here earlier. We were talking about just the Black Lives Matter.
Right.
I don't mean to get off subject or anything, but we were talking about the Black Lives Matter and just things going on just as far as that. And it's people seeing them as a terrorist group, and I saw a lot of comments with people saying just are they a terrorist group, or just what is going on, and just issues going on. And I left a comment just there are things going on in St. Louis right now where 6 activists have been burned and killed in a car, killed in a car. And it seems like none of the media or anything is focusing on that right now. Have you heard about that?
Not in any depth or detail.
Yeah, there was a prominent activist who was, I guess, came to the public attention in Ferguson, and he was found shot to death, and his car was set on fire. And I guess it's becoming a pattern, and they don't know who did it. It's not white cops doing it. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, and that gets to the beginning and the heart of the issue for me, which is that the whole movement was founded on a lie. Michael, the Hands Up, Don't Shoot was a lie. And there was an article by Heather McDonald in the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post talking about the data. And we're going to talk about this later because it's a topic that has to be talked about because it relates to Colin Kaepernick and it relates to these athletes who want to sit for a cause that is again being driven by a false narrative. And that, to me, has gotten police officers assassinated. And that presents more than one or two problems that need to be discussed and fixed. So we are going to take a break here, but before we do, 1-844-900-3838, CurtSchillingShow.com on the internet. Text line 680-680. This is Curt Schilling, and this is the Curt Schilling Show.
The Curt Schilling Show.
Don't miss your final chance. Come on, come on, come on.
The Subaru Retailers of New England's final chance clearance is going on now. Drive home a brand new all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza for only $169 per month for 36 months with $17.99 due at signing, or buy for only $18,295. From top to bottom and front to back, the Impreza is fortified with the most advanced safety features, making it an IIHS top safety pick for 9 consecutive years. Plus, the Impreza is a fuel-efficient vehicle. Pushing the limits on the road has never been easier. With so much to offer, it's no wonder the Impreza is the young-hearted's choice. This is your final chance to drive home the Impreza, a vehicle that loves life just as much as you do, for only $169 per month, or buy for only $18,295. For complete details and a list of Subaru retailers, go to SubaruofNewEngland.com.
Want more Curt Schilling? Yeah! Watch the Curt Cam at CurtSchillingShow.com. While you're there, check out Curt's store. Get an official Curt Schilling Show shirt or grab a Curt Schilling Show baseball hat. And if you like Curt and hate Hillary, we've got you covered with Curt's Hillary for Prison t-shirts. Curt Schilling all the time. Online, CurtSchillingShow.com.
Welders, has Maine Oxy got a deal for you? The Maine Oxy tool of the month is the Hogan swivel-based portable magnetic drill. This 115-volt drill is excellent for horizontal, overhead, tight areas, and getting out over another piece of steel. Plus 2 bonus freebies, lubricant and cutting fluid, all for just $999. Buy this Hogan drill, and you'll feel like a Hogan's hero. Ha! Maine Oxy, with 15 stores throughout New England. Or go to MaineOxy.com.
For industrial gas, for specialty gas, call Maine Oxy.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
Do you know what's in your body soap? Well, I didn't know the answer until about 5 years ago when I looked at the label of my soap and was shocked to see all the chemicals. For my entire life, I had been assaulting the largest organ of my body, my skin, and to think my children were using it too. Well, a lot has changed since then. Today, my family and I operate Stone City Farms, where we make and sell all natural goat milk soap using fresh goat milk from goats we raise on our farm. Our mission at Stone City Farm is to produce high-quality, all-natural goat milk soap for people who want a fresh, unrefined, natural product. At Stone City Farms, we offer scented and unscented soaps and a signature line of gift sets customizable to your needs. To see what our customers are saying, go to StoneCityFarm.com. Use the code NATURAL for a 20% discount. That's StoneCityFarm.com, code NATURAL for 20% off your order. You never know what could be hiding in your soap.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. As many of you could probably guess, I love to shop. But you know what I don't love? Waiting in long lines at the dressing room and dealing with crowded parking lots at the mall. Or in my case, being bombarded by gaggles of adoring fans. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I can imagine it'd be a hassle. But luckily for me, I can get all of my shopping done at the most convenient store in the country, the Howie Carr Show online store at howiecarrshow.com. Makes shopping easy, convenient, and most importantly, affordable. Whether I want a Hillary for Prison t-shirt or a copy of Brothers Bulger to read poolside, I always go to howiecarrshow.com. And when I'm on pug duty, I love whipping out my Hillary doggy poop bag to help clean up after Gunnar and Pearl. There is no better and cheaper store around than the Howie Carr Show online store. So go to howiecarrshow.com and click on store. There is always a great deal waiting for you, and I can guarantee all of your friends will be super jealous when you show up to the next BBQ decked out in the latest awesome t-shirt, courtesy of the captain himself. Go to howiecarrshow.com now. That's howiecarrshow.com. Click store.
Welcome to your weekly dose of calm, soft, stale radio. Nah, just kidding. It's the Curt Schilling Show, baby.
Calm, soft radio. I promise you we will never use those adjectives to describe a half hour of this show at any point, any place, any time. This is Curt Schilling. This is the first ever Curt Schilling Show. You can see us on the internet, streaming live, CurtSchillingShow.com. Call in number 844-900-3838. Text 680-680. We're talking about 15 years ago, 9/11, and where we were and where we've come and where we are. And there's some mind-boggling things going on. Here's an article off the FoxNews.com site. Headline: Texas mattress store closes after 9/11 Twin Towers sale. Commercial sparks threats. Basically, here's the meat of this. The offending ad for Miracle Mattress starts with San Antonio branch store manager Charisse Bonanno, Mike Bonanno's daughter, asking, what better way to remember 9/11 than a Twin Towers sale? And ends with 2 employees falling backwards onto 2 piles of mattresses with an American flag between them. She then turns to the cameras and says, we'll never forget. I mean, I don't even know where to start with that one.
I mean, is there somebody with 2 brain cells to rub together at that store who can say, hey, this isn't going to help us sell mattresses?
But this feels like the person that was a publicist for the Obama campaign, for the Obama administration, who probably got fired. This is where they ended up working. This is one of those tone deaf, what country do I live in things, like your company. But I'll tell you this is what capitalism is about, right? You don't get told by the government. The consumer dictates who wins and who loses in the market. And hey, liberals had a field day with a hypothetical cake that a bakery wouldn't bake, put them out of business. These are the kind of things that they're mind-numbing, but they're not, because we hear about them every single day. And then the conversation around Colin Kaepernick, the conversation around the 49ers and the Seahawks. We got a couple of clips of Mr. Kaepernick and his comments about police officers and the where he thinks this protest should be pointing. So let me hear those, Steve.
You have people that practice law and are lawyers and go to school for 8 years, but you can become a cop in 6 months and don't have to have the same amount of training as a cosmetologist. That's insane. I mean, someone that's holding a curling iron has more education.
The same amount of training as a cosmetologist? What?
Yeah, he's basically saying that police officers are less educated, less qualified than hairstylists.
Right. But again, is that's something I would say from an emotional perspective before I actually looked at an actual fact or piece of data. I've never known a cosmetologist that left home, kissed their kids goodbye, and said, I may never come home again. I mean, come on. So yeah, then we go ahead and run the next one.
People are dying in vain because this country isn't holding their end of the bargain up as far as, giving freedom and justice and liberty to everybody.
What does that mean? The Civil Rights Act was very clear about the fact that everybody has to be treated equally. You can't hire, fire, and discriminate on sex, race, religion. You can't do more than this. Is what I tell people about the Second Amendment too. The laws are there. You can't make people follow the laws, and if they don't, and the ones that don't, if you don't punish them, then this is what you get. This is what you, and so again, the country does what it can do. There's always going to be racism. You can't legislate morality and the things that go with that. I don't know how you answer that one. So he's got two more beauties here.
I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. When there's significant change and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, I'll stand.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk later about the people being oppressed and the stats and the data, but
I just want to know what Colin Kaepernick, if he was emperor of the world and he could fix things just like that, what would he do? Like when is he going to look at the world and be like, yeah, okay, I'll stand for the anthem? What does he want?
Well, more importantly to me is why now? He's been in the NFL a little while. This is clearly something that he believes isn't a new problem. Why now? He's less relevant now than he's ever been. And when he was in the Super Bowl and the belle of the ball, he was getting advertising and doing all those great things that NFL players do. I mean,
he's less relevant right now than a Steelers player.
Well, that's a problem for me if you're going to go there. The Steelers, the greatest franchise in sports history. But seriously, I don't like to think that athletes do these things to stay in the spotlight. But if he's doing that, I don't think he is. But this is a guy who was raised by 2 parents who adopted him and provided him with opportunities to do amazing things. God bless him, he did. He worked his butt off to get where he is, and he's got a window to make a difference, and I don't think he's making a positive difference. But this last one brings a word into the conversation that makes me cringe.
I haven't. I have great respect for the religion. Know a lot of people that are Muslim and are phenomenal people. but I think that comes along with people's fear of this protest as well as Islamophobia in this country. You know, people are terrified of them to the point where Trump wants to ban all Muslims from coming here, which is ridiculous.
Stop. See, that's the problem, and that's how we've gotten here, because the media perpetuates that. They know that's not. No one called him on that. And first, he was answering. What you heard him answering was, have you converted? And he was saying, no, I have not, because his girlfriend apparently is a Muslim. And I'm with him. I know a ton of Muslims. And they're some of the greatest people Adnan Virk at ESPN, one of my favorite people in the world. And I had conversations with him about this. But when was the last time? Well, I don't even want to ask that question when was the last time. Islamophobia is what? The fear of all Muslims? I don't get that in the sense that I'm not in fear of. I just want the ones that are killing American citizens because of their personal jihad to go away. So, this is Curt Schilling, the first ever Curt Schilling Show. 1-844-900-3838. Text 680-680. We'll be back in a minute.
Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality storable foods from Numana. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or an outdoor sports enthusiast, Foodforliberty.com has your prepackaged single-serve packs or kits for the entire family. Numana is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. With a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Right now, Foodforliberty.com is offering a special gift, a heavy-duty Survivor dry storage box designed for extreme bug-out conditions. This storage box is built to last, includes compass, signaling mirror, and is yours free with a $50 order. Go to foodforliberty.com right now and pick up your quality storable foods from Numana. To get the Survivor dry storage box, use promo code LIBERTY. It makes good sense to be prepared. Go to foodforliberty.com.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
People love to shop. What if you could shop and it was actually good for you? What if you could actually purchase items that bettered your life? What goes into your body is important to what quality of life you have. How about shopping for items that better your health? GetTheT.com is that shopping place. We're not only tea, even though that's our #1 seller, we are about helping your health. There's Colostrum LD for those of you with autoimmune troubles. The product helps your stomach get on track. GI problems produce pain. Get relief with Colostrum LD. How about some fat burners? Or maybe some joint aid? Or a power cleanse? There's so much to tell you with very little time. So get help health-wise at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or you can call our friendly operators at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Get help and relief by going shopping. Shop at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Serving people with great products for over 8 years. GetTheT.com.
If someone you care about is struggling with addiction in any form, from alcohol and chemical dependency to gambling, gaming, or sex, there is hope and compassionate help available. Right Turn, located in Watertown, Massachusetts, offers extended care for addiction in a caring environment where each individual and family is treated with dignity and respect. Right Turn's experienced team includes intervention professionals, psychiatrists, physicians, social workers, and other top addiction specialists. Their approach is a unique combination of evidence-based treatment and creativity, using art, music, and writing to help individuals define themselves and become part of a community of creative people who support each other in recovery. Learn more about the wide range of services Right Turn can offer. From family interventions to extended housing, the journey to recovery can begin today. Visit right-turn.org.
The censorship ends now. This is the Curt Schilling Show.
All right, I'm not going to lie. I'm fired up with the music. The musical choices so far have been outstanding. I'm Curt Schilling. This is the first ever Curt Schilling Show. 1-844-900-3838. You can call and talk to me about anything. I'm really, really anxious to hear people that aren't conservative to call in and argue about the things we want to argue about. Text is 680-680. CurtSchillingShow.com, and I'm on Twitter at Gehrig38, Gehrig. So if it's possible, yesterday, Hillary Clinton said something even more stupid and more ignorant than I think almost anything she said to date, which is pretty amazing when you look at the body of work. However, in realizing the Clinton name, there is precedence for this, and we've got some sound that Steve, let's roll 1 and 2.
That message where I'll give you America great again is, if you're a white Southerner, you know exactly what it means, don't you? What it means is, I'll give you the economy you had 50 years ago, and I'll move you back up on the social totem pole and other people down. What Hillary wants to do is take the totem pole down and let us all go forward together.
What kind of a racist would say "Make America Great Again," given that we know it is a dog whistle for racism?
I want to attack these problems and make America great again. Paid for by Clinton for president.
Oh, the gift that keeps on giving, the Clintons. Now
I believe that together we can make America great again.
Yes, you do, Bill. Yes, you do.
So Hillary and Bill didn't have a problem with it in the 90s.
No, the Trump family has a problem with nothing when it serves and benefits them. Yesterday, this is the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. He basically called 1/4 of Trump supporters, I don't even know, I can't get all the names in. Hillary Clinton, this is quote, to be grossly generalistic. Is that a word, generalistic? Okay, I'll give it to her. You can put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables, right? Clinton said to applause and laughter from the crowd of supporters at an LGBT for Hillary fundraiser where Barbra Streisand performed. Oh, my goodness.
Sounds like your dream night. An LGBT fundraiser with Barbra Streisand and Hillary. Where were your tickets?
Would only be made if Lena Dunham was there in a tux. That would have made it perfect. So
you could not objectify her and then get in trouble?
Exactly. But here is what she said about 1/4 of you Trump supporters. Racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that, and he has lifted them up. Trump has given voice to white supremacists and anti-Semitic voices on the internet. So she just called one. So let's just say it's 50 million to 50 million on election day. She just called between 12.5 million people, racist, all of everything that liberals actually are. She just called conservative supporters of Donald Trump. And this is a woman who was mentored by a grand cyclops in the KKK in Senator Byrd. Mentored. And she openly admitted, paid tribute to him, what a great guy he was. Being a grand member of a grand cyclops of the KKK, that's not a mistake. A mistake would be me calling you Bob. That's a mistake. When you join the KKK, that's pretty much a life choice, I think. And she has not disappointed. And this is one of the reasons why I think I get frustrated, because when I hear the election, when I hear the polls, when I hear things about, hey, it's closing, the gap is closing, there should be no gap. This woman has no business being on any stage, much less being the Democratic nominee, given her past. The stealing from Haitian quake survivors, the Clinton Foundation and the pay for play, which we know to be fact in millions of it, Benghazi, that being responsible for, and I keep, every time I talk about that, I have to bring this up. There are certain things I always tell my kids, listen, you can always tell somebody in critical, crucial moments. You can always tell people's true nature by some of the things that they'll say or do, how they treat animals, all this other stuff. When Hillary Clinton stood before the American people and called the 4 families of the men murdered in Benghazi on her watch liars, after lying to them, what kind of a scumbag? That's a scumbag thing. I don't know another word. I know another word for it, but I can't use it. But that is a rotten human being to the core. And as you look back on what she's done, and listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy, and but they're not all lies. I don't know how many people in your life, Steve, but I can tell you in my life, I'm 49 years old. I don't know if 1, maybe 2, maybe people in my life have been shot and killed and murdered. It's like the number in the Clinton family is like over 50.
Well, they know a lot of people, you know?
Okay.
They know way more people than we do.
But that's almost kind of like the Cosby thing, isn't it? Like 1 or 2, you think, oh, man, these are just money grubbers, right? This is some of the stuff that Trump has been accused of. It's 1 or 2 or 3 people. But when you start getting into the teens, and when her husband's, the assaults and the rapes, when they start getting into the 20s, he enters Cosby territory. 51 or 50 plus, and there's more, obviously. The WikiLeaks leak that the person that Julian Assange came out and said,
Seth Rich.
Yes, who was murdered, no wallet taken, no robbery. These aren't smart criminals, by the way, if they're doing that, what they're doing. But so let's listen to this quote, and please pay attention and think during this if this is coming out of Donald Trump's mouth.
Be grossly generalistic. You can put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right?
Oh, you're funny.
The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. But that other basket of people are people who feel the government has let them down. The economy has let them down. Nobody cares about them.
Yeah, that's true. The government has let us down.
Gee, Hillary, thanks for the concession. Just half of Trump supporters are racist, xenophobic, bigots.
Again, 12.5 million people. She just called you. What 12.5 million did she call you? Which of you is part of that? Because I believe in my heart of hearts that liberals are everything they claim conservatives to be. They are racist. They are sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, and all the things that get that under a guise of tolerance. And I saw this at ESPN in the sense that a Disney company claimed to be tolerant, firing me for being intolerant, which was completely false and a lie. But they are the most exclusive, intolerant group of people I've ever been around and worked for. And that to me is not a mistake. That's not a one-off. That's a consistent pattern of behavior. So I'm dying to know what Clinton supporters think about that comment, and also what you and the 12.5 million she identified think as well. So let's go to the phones. Line 1, we have Gene. Gene, what's going on?
Hi, Kurt. Congratulations with the new show.
Thank you.
It's great. It's going to be great. And I am not a Clinton supporter, but I know a lot of them. And they're friends of mine. And I find it mind-boggling. You have to almost keep a journal of all these things that they have done, all the scandals, all the shady people that the Clintons have surrounded themselves with. If that was a Republican, they'd be gone. They would be gone. But no, they have legions and legions and legions of people, along with the mainstream media, that just buy into this. And they're not reaping any benefits from this woman. So many people are not reaping any benefits, and yet they still follow her like she's some sort of a Svengali. It boggles the mind.
Doesn't it? It feels to me like it's blind worship, and that to me. So basically, what they're telling us and is that there's nothing that she can do that would make them not follow her, and that's scary. I think that's when you start talking about some of the people in the past that have taken control of countries and run roughshod over the world. That's the kind of blind loyalty you have to someone as evil and despicable as she is. And Yeah, it's scary. I guess so they're your friends, and I'm not using air quotes, but they're your friends, and I can't imagine where the conversation goes after a night like Hillary says the things that she does. So, Gene,
We
thanks
don't even talk about it. We don't even talk about it.
Yep.
And the thing is, this is the discouraging part about it. If she's not behind bars now, she never will be. Jim Comey really disappointed me because I really thought he's a stand-up guy. Everybody said that all around, and he dropped the ball. And she's never going to get convicted of anything.
Well, if the FBI can come out and tell the world you committed crimes and then say they're not going to prosecute you, what's the bar? What do you have to do? There's nothing you can't. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Gene, thank you for the call. Line 2, Bob, what's going on, man?
Well, good morning, Curt, and congratulations on your show.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I got to go through that list here because I feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day.
Yep.
Islamophobic, homophobic, xenophobic, racist. I'm really, really close on this one. So I must be a Trump supporter.
Right. Well,
this is insane.
This is.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say that's the ultimate. They want their cake and they want to eat it too.
I like Gene before me. Have friends? I live in Maine. I have friends who are left leaning and liberal. We can have honest conversations about Bernie Sanders, but we can't have honest conversations about Hillary Clinton for some reason. Donald Trump is accused of being rich, like Hillary Clinton isn't rich.
Right.
That's the big thing they have against him. He's rich and he says mean things.
Well, is that not the same thing?
Hillary Clinton is.
No,
She's kind of in that club too right now.
Is that not the same thing they did to Mitt Romney? He's wealthy.
Yeah.
He's wealthy.
The 74%. Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, okay.
Well, his 47% comment.
I like people that are successful. I want people that understand how to be successful in the private sector, which is exactly what Donald Trump has done. He's created tens of thousands of jobs. But if you talk to people about business, they talk about I think it's 5 or 6 or less than 15 bankruptcies in over 500 plus forays into business in the private sector. He created tens of thousands of jobs and all the things that he's done, and still somehow Hillary Clinton. Here's the other piece that I don't get. The DNC basically was called out. They fixed and rigged the primary for her to win. Everybody knew it.
Bingo.
But ask Hillary Clinton supporters about it, and they'll tell you, well, that source sucks. That's not, it's not. You can't deny it. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who, I thought the world was being given a favor when she got cut loose. Hillary immediately turns around and hires this woman.
Well, she was on the payroll anyway.
Yep, but
in some way, shape, or form, as chairman, she was on the Hillary payroll.
But in my world, a lot of who you are to me when you're not around me is who you surround yourself with. And when you look at who the Clintons have surrounded themselves with, I mean, how many flights did Bill Clinton take on a private jet with a pedophile to what must have been his version of Fantasy Island without the little guy? I mean, I don't know. It really feels like there is no limit to what she can or can't do. Her fall, and I get the feeling that a lot of people, and I would ask your friends this, if they don't like Hillary but they can't support Trump, and there's a lot of people out there that are like that, then I think you need to ask them what they think about the Supreme Court and the Constitution. Because if you don't like
it is, and you know what? It's like turning a big ship, though, Curt.
Yep.
You kind of, at least now they're not. I really have a guy who I've been discussing with, a young guy, millennial, a Bernie supporter from the beginning, and he and I will go back and forth respectfully because we're friends. And he is now a Trump supporter because everything that I predicted was going to happen to Bernie happened to him. It was obvious. It was written on the wall that he was never going to take this.
What?
And he refused to believe that he didn't have a chance. And he goes, oh, my God, this thing is rigged like everybody's been saying, like Trump's been saying. Thank you.
Yeah. Bob, great call. Thank you very much for calling in. Have a great morning. We are going to take a break. 1-844-900-3838. Text 680-680. CurtSchillingShow.com. At Garrick38 is my Twitter handle. This is Curt Schilling, and we'll be back in a minute.
The Curt Schilling Show.
Hello, America. Amazingly bad Christopher Walken impersonator here. I gotta tell you, that Europe is one zany country, but don't get me wrong, we got our share of kooky, too. We're now on our quadrennial descent into madness, known as the presidential campaign. Insider or outsider, seasoned politician or successful businessman. Personally, I always vote for the ones who promise me the least. I figure they'll be the least disappointing. My friends at Matthews Brothers, they've been through 40 of these things, starting when James Buchanan beat that rascal John Fremont. They tell me bad officials are elected by good citizens who do not vote. Thank heavens we still have companies like Matthews Brothers who take pride in honoring their commitment to quality, dependability, and service day in and day out for over 162 years, something to which our elected officials could aspire for maybe 4. You can see their wicked awesome Maine-made windows, but only at better lumber yards and window professionals throughout New England or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with 1 T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
This is Dr. Keith Abloh. If you know me, you know I'm all about the truth, and as a psychiatrist, I see firsthand the pain and health effects of being overweight. The truth is we've been going about losing weight the wrong way. Instead of starving ourselves, we should be keeping our insulin levels under control. Insulin is the critical hormone that causes you to lose weight or gain weight because insulin directly affects metabolism and how much fat is stored in your body. If you gain weight easily and have abdominal fat, you likely have a condition known as insulin resistance. Insulin resistance slows down your metabolism and makes it difficult to lose fat and very easy to store it. For over 5 years, I've been working with the team at Golo who have created an affordable, all-natural, real solution that helps reverse insulin resistance, resulting in lasting weight loss with some pretty amazing health benefits. This is not a gimmick. If you want to get off the diet merry-go-round, then Golo's your chance. So go to Golo.com. That's GOLO.com to find out if you have insulin resistance and get on the road to reversing it and feeling great. That's Golo.com.
People love to shop. What if you could shop and it was actually good for you? What if you could actually purchase items that bettered your life? What goes into your body is important to what quality of life you have. How about shopping for items that better your health? GetTheT.com is that shopping place. We're not only tea, even though that's our #1 seller, we are about helping your health. There's Colostrum LD for those of you with autoimmune troubles. The product helps your stomach get on track. GI problems produce pain. Get relief with Colostrum LD. How about some fat burners? Or maybe some joint aid? Or a power cleanse? There's so much to tell you with very little time. So get help health-wise at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or you can call our friendly operators at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Get help and relief by going shopping. Shop at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Serving people with great products for over 8 years. GetTheT.com.
If someone you care about is struggling with addiction in any form, from alcohol and chemical dependency to gambling, gaming, or sex, there is hope and compassionate help available. Right Turn, located in Watertown, Massachusetts, offers extended care for addiction in a caring environment where each individual and family is treated with dignity and respect. Right Turn's experienced team includes intervention professionals, psychiatrists, physicians, social workers, and other top addiction specialists. Their approach is a unique combination of evidence-based treatment and creativity, using art, music, and writing to help individuals define themselves and become part of a community of creative people who support each other in recovery. Learn more about the wide range of services Right Turn can offer. From family interventions to extended housing, the journey to recovery can begin today. Visit right-turn.org.
People love to shop. What if you could shop and it was actually good for you? What if you could actually purchase items that bettered your life? What goes into your body is important to what quality of life you have. How about shopping for items that better your health? GetTheT.com is that shopping place. We're not only tea, even though that's our #1 seller, we are about helping your health. There's Colostrum LD for those of you with autoimmune troubles. The product helps your stomach get on track. GI problems produce pain. Get relief with Colostrum LD. How about some fat burners? Or maybe some joint aid? Or a power cleanse? There's so much to tell you with very little time. So get help health-wise at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or you can call our friendly operators at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Get help and relief by going shopping. Shop at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Serving people with great products for over 8 years. GetTheT.com.
want to be a president for all Americans, not some Americans. Democrats, Republicans.
Striking out liberals without breaking a sweat. It's Curt Schilling. He's got a radio show? Oh, dear Lord.
Promise that he is not the only guy saying dear Lord today, listening or watching. Curt Schilling here, my first ever radio show, internet streaming show. Going to be talking to people and talking about life and the stuff that moves the needle. 1-844-900-3838 is the number. Text line 680-680. CurtSchillingShow.com to watch the live stream, and at Garrick38 on Twitter. So we were talking about the Seahawks. We were talking about all the things that Colin Kaepernick has done since he initially sat. And I got to thinking that given that he is a mobile, scrambling, running quarterback, he's probably taken far more contact than most quarterbacks his age. And when I think about when we look at Hillary's health and her situation, this could be a sympathetic thing. He might have some.
He was kind of slurring his words there.
Yeah, well, and I kid. I'm not making. I have very dear friends of mine that have walked away from the NFL for reasons, but this is a legitimate conversation. This is going to grow. High school athletes and college athletes and all the things that's happening. So Steve, let's go to the phone. We got Brian on line 5 who wants to talk about Kaepernick.
Hey, congrats on the show, Curt.
Thank you.
I just want to talk about. I feel like, especially with ESPN now, I wake up and it's all the liberal media, and it just pushes racism down your throat before you even knew you were a part of it. Like, it calls everybody a racist. You feel racist if you're white and you're watching it, and especially with the SBs and everything going on, when everyone stands up and talks about it, it's a good movement, but it's just right down your throat, and there's like nowhere to run. And I hate waking up thinking that the world is like terribly racist.
Well, here's the thing: the if you claim that everybody is out to make you feel guilty for being a white male, then you are whining. This is, because now the quote unquote oppressed people say you have no idea what it's like to be oppressed.
Check your privilege, brah.
Absolutely. The white male Christian, but I'm not whining. This is the world we live in now. I get it. I totally understand it. But you're right. This BLM movement is, I can't say this, and I'm going to continue to say it. It's driven by a false narrative. Hands up, don't shoot was a lie. Our president coming out and blasting the cops in Cambridge, which turned out to be complete crap, was a lie. It's been a lie every time. The media no longer waits for the story. The media makes the story fit the narrative they need it to fit to advance the agenda they need it to advance. And you're exactly right. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you feel guilty for working your ass off and being and getting where you get. So they want to fix that by giving everybody free college. That will fix it. Giving everybody free college and giving jobs to the terrorists is how you settle this thing. That's the liberal approach to world peace. So thanks for the call, Brian. This is, Steve, listen, I don't have a if I owned a team, I would be like Tortorella, the hockey coach for the USA team. If you sit, you will not play. It's my team. I'm the manager. I'm the coach. Because I think there's, and again, the anthem is, I was blown away by the Twitter movement from veterans who were, I stand with Kaepernick, or I sit with Kaepernick. I was blown away, but then I realized exactly why most of them were, because this is the exact thing they fight for. Just because they don't agree with you doesn't mean you can't do it. 1-844-900-3838, text 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com, at Garrick38 on Twitter. Back in a minute.
Hey, it's the Curt Schilling Show. Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, Who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. As many of you could probably guess, I love to shop. But you know what I don't love? Waiting in long lines at the dressing room and dealing with crowded parking lots at the mall. Or in my case, being bombarded by gaggles of adoring fans. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I can imagine it'd be a hassle. But luckily for me, I can get all of my shopping done at the most convenient store in the country. The Howie Carr Show online store at howiecarrshow.com makes shopping easy, convenient, and most importantly, affordable. Whether I want a Hillary for Prison t-shirt or a copy of Brothers Bulger to read poolside, I always go to howiecarrshow.com. And when I'm on pug duty, I love whipping out my Hillary doggy poop bag to help clean up after Gunnar and Pearl. There is no better and cheaper store around than the Howie Carr Show online store. So go to howiecarrshow.com and click on store. There is always a great deal waiting for you, and I can guarantee all of your friends will be super jealous when you show up to the next BBQ decked out in the latest awesome t-shirt, courtesy of the captain himself. Go to howiecarrshow.com now. That's howiecarrshow.com. Click store.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
If someone you care about is struggling with addiction in any form, from alcohol and chemical dependency to gambling, gaming, or sex, there is hope and compassionate help available. Right Turn, located in Watertown, Massachusetts, offers extended care for addiction in a caring environment where each individual and family is treated with dignity and respect. Right Turn's experienced team includes intervention professionals, psychiatrists, physicians, social workers, and other top addiction specialists. Their approach is a unique combination of evidence-based treatment and creativity, using art, music, and writing to help individuals define themselves and become part of a community of creative people who support each other in recovery. Learn more about the wide range of services Right Turn can offer. From family interventions to extended housing, the journey to recovery can begin today. Visit right-turn.org.
Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from Numana. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, enthusiast, New Manna is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure water pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at foodforliberty.com. Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality storable foods from New Manna. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or an outdoor sports enthusiast, Foodforliberty.com has your prepackaged single-serve packs or kits for the entire family. New Manna is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. With a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Right now, Foodforliberty.com is offering a special gift, a heavy-duty Survivor dry storage box designed for extreme bug-out conditions. This storage box is built to last, includes compass, signaling mirror, and is yours free with a $50 order. Go to foodforliberty.com right now and pick up your quality storable foods from New Manna. To get the Survivor dry storage box, use promo code LIBERTY. It makes good sense to be prepared. Go to foodforliberty.com.
People love to shop. What if you could shop and it was actually good for you? What if you could actually purchase items that bettered your life? What goes into your body is important to what quality of life you have. How about shopping for items that better your health? GetTheT.com is that shopping place. We're not only tea, even though that's our #1 seller, we are about helping your health. There's Colostrum LD for those of you with autoimmune troubles. The product helps your stomach get on track. GI problems produce pain. Get relief with Colostrum LD. How about some fat burners? Or maybe some joint aid? Or a power cleanse? There's so much to tell you with very little time. So get help health-wise at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or you can call our friendly operators at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Get help and relief by going shopping. Shop at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Serving people with great products for over 8 years. GetTheT.com.
Live from the People's Republic of Massachusetts.
Our president basically said that we are lazy when it comes to world affairs.
It's the Curt Schilling Show.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Lena Dunham, in my book, she's a mulligan.
Don't want a nation under the new media.
If Bill Clinton would have done his job, there would have been no Bin Laden.
It get you with the sound of hysteria.
It's scary stuff how hard the media is attempting to skew the narrative.
The subliminal mind, America.
The next president that goes into the White House got to fix 8 years of absolute buffoonery and embarrassing representation of the United States of America around the world.
Troublemaker extraordinaire, Curt Schilling.
You know, I can hear my wife listening to that little clip right there and rolling her eyes every time there's a quote. Every time. Curt Schilling Show on 1-844-900-3838. I'm still working the kinks out opening day. Text is 680-680. CurtSchillingShow.com on the internet live stream at Gehrig38. All right, this next conversation, Steve, is a personal one for me. I grew up I grew up very lower middle class. My father served in the Army. I was a military brat, born in Anchorage, Alaska. Moved around the country.
Were you on the jagged edge of the middle class like Elizabeth Warren?
No, I was not on the edge. I was definitely on the lower middle half. My father was an officer after he served. My brother-in-law was a detective, was a member of the SWAT team in Arizona before he became a detective. There is now a conversation, and this is local. Boston police officers have been asked to wear body cameras. And I want to talk to the law enforcement, not just the officers, but the families out there. And I want to understand this. Everything we look at things very black and white. I understand that you can't Monday morning quarterback a police officer because every stop that they make could be the last stop they make for their rest. They could end their lives at that point. So, I guess I understand a little bit of hesitancy maybe, but given what's happened, given the narrative that our president has created, and the fact that our government has backed away from supporting our law enforcement, and I believe has blood on their hands from the murders and assassinations of these police officers, what's the downside to the officers again? What's the downside to this if it perpetuates trust from the public that right now people are saying you don't have?
But I also look at it like Darren Wilson, the officer who shot Michael Brown and Ferguson and started this whole false narrative. If he had been wearing a body camera and that body camera footage showed Michael Brown reaching in for his gun and charging him, then he would actually still have a life. But right now, he'll be living in hiding for the next 2 decades.
And I guess what I would ask you is there's a lot of logistical things and technological things, but you remember the gentleman in Louisiana that was shot and killed in the car next to his girlfriend who was FaceTiming at the time. She was Facebooking about the experience or live streaming about, hey, she's talking while he's dying. As long as you can see the whole event, you can't look at these, because I think we didn't see what happened before. We heard the officers panic in the middle, and then it was over. And everybody said, oh my God, he just shot an unarmed man. There, as always, just like the police officer in Cambridge, there is always a story behind. These are never what the media tells us they are. But I really want to hear from police officers about why wouldn't you if you don't. Now, my understanding is, and I get this as a former player rep in the players union, the city went around the collective bargaining agreement to do some things in this process, which you can't do.
Well, I'm fine with that because I despise unions.
Right. No. I was a member of a very successful union, and a union that was financially viable. We didn't suck the life out of our business. Our business made money, but there were some huge upsides to a union that's run right. I'm just curious, though, again, from you officers and the families of officers, and God bless you if you've lost one in the past. I would love to hear what your opinion is about this going forward. Steve, we got some callers on the line. You want to take line one?
I want to read one text to you. 617 says, the body cams stop them from being nice and giving someone a pass. I don't really think that's the case. I don't think someone's going to go back and look at the footage of every single traffic stop and then cite you if you gave, like a pretty girl a pass.
Well, but here's the thing. That happens all the time, and we don't hear any of that, right? Think about it. Let's just say there's 1 million police officers. It's a number somewhere in that ballpark. There are hundreds of thousands of public interactions every single day. And we've been told that white police officers are killing black men unarmed at disproportionate rates. All of that is a lie. It is a complete, and we'll talk about the statistics as well, but that's all a lie. That drove Black Lives Matter. That forced the riots in Milwaukee. And again, these people burned down their own communities, which is another conversation for another time. But I do want to hear from you. If you're a law enforcement officer, if you're a first responder, please not just me, but I want the public to hear from the officers and understand why they are where they are.
Or like, what is the downside of these cameras? Why would Boston cops, not want to volunteer? Why would they resist it? I mean, apart from like the union, I get that they want to have the union issue, but why wouldn't they say, hell yes, I want to have a camera on? So if I know I'm walking the straight and narrow, and if something happens, I want to be able to exonerate myself.
And the thing is that you can't look at every nook and cranny of what this entails for them. There's going to be, I promise you, if we hear from officers, there will be conversation about a downside that we aren't thinking of. So let's head out to the phones and talk to Ben on line one. Ben, what's up?
Good morning, Curt. I appreciate you taking the call. I talked to you last night as well. I figured I'd give it another round here.
Cool. Thank you.
Hey, not a problem. Hey, originally when I called, I was going to talk to you about the Colin Kaepernick thing, but since hearing your discussion with you guys, as you came back from break, I can tie it into this. My big thing with this whole kneeling down or sitting down during the national anthem, I can't speak from an African-American standpoint and these people that are supposedly feeling oppressed, although feeling oppressed from what I have no idea. But why don't we hear the conversations with these same athletes that are in the public eye are going into their communities, the inner cities, and talking to those folks, the community organizers, about the black-on-black crime, which is a heck of a lot higher, the murder rates on black crime, than it is for these these handful of officers that have, what do you call it, go rogue or what have you, that
Right.
that may not have taken the situation and handled it properly, and some unfortunate circumstances happen. Well, why not talk about the absurd amount of black on black crime and murders that are going on in the major cities in our country? Why don't they use the platform to do that?
And Ben, I couldn't agree with you more. And I implore you to push people that are talking about this to a Washington Post article from July 18th written by Heather McDonald, which lays out the numbers that you were just talking about. And here's one from them. July 9th, as of July 9th, whites were 54% of the 440 police shooting victims this year whose race was known. Blacks were 28%. Hispanics were 18%, according to the Washington Post. It's much similar to last year's tally, in which whites made up 50% of the fatal shooting, 987 fatal shootings, and blacks made up 26%. The numbers,
unbelievable.
Well, it is, and the deeper you get into those numbers, the more unbelievable and the more of a lie the narrative that drove the Black Lives Matter movement becomes. So, Ben, thank you for the call.
I agree.
Thank you for the call. 1-844-900-3838. I would love to hear from police officers or police officers' families about this body cam conversation. Text 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com, and at Garrick30 on Twitter. Nick, you're next up on line 2. What's going on, Nick?
Hey, Kurt, thanks for having me.
Thanks for calling.
Hey, the camera thing, I want to do a little political talk with you, but the camera thing, I would think the downside would be this day and age of technology, every little thing, if you're making a traffic stop as a cop and something suspicious, every little thing will be dissected. Maybe your language gets a little rough, or someone's not complying, and you a little aggressively push them onto the hood of the car because your adrenaline's flowing. Every little thing you do is going to be dissected to the nth degree, and I don't think they want all that out there. I mean, if I was in that role, I think I would not know if I want to be. I get the good part of it, where they're going to get to see you on camera doing your job, but everything's going to be dissected. Like everything in this world is dissected every second of every day now with the age of technology.
That's a great point.
Isn't it already though?
No,
with cops?
no,
Aren't they already
he
dissected?
has a point. Listen, if you are allowed in a locker room, and I would argue that there are two locker rooms that are distinctly different than the rest of the world. The military and / police locker room is almost exactly like the athletic locker room. There are things that are off limits. There are things that you say and do. There are ways that you act. Now, you get out of your car, you're in the middle of a fight, and you say something that doesn't come across the camera right, and somebody all of a sudden, now you're a racist. Now you're suspended.
Exactly.
And I'm not making excuses, but it is next to impossible to ask anybody in the world. You're going to have a camera on you every second of your job for 8 hours a day. When you get out of the car, when you go to the bathroom, when you're at lunch, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants, because we all do and say things we don't want other people to see.
Well, I mean, that's the risk, but isn't the reward? I bet if you asked Darren Wilson, would you have wanted to have a body cam on? He would say yes. Well, I think there's upside to it for the cops too.
Well, again,
he would say yes for that moment that happened. But if you asked him before that moment happened, the previous 5 years he was a policeman, I'll bet he'd say no.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is here, listen, we talk, they always say you curse like a sailor. You can't imagine the language. Well, maybe you can. You've played college football. The locker room is your place. When you're in the car, when you're on patrol with a partner, and now, remember, almost everybody is going to a partner system. Cities are not allowing officers to be by themselves. You talk about things, you do, and you're off the cuff.
But I don't think that's what the camera's for. I don't think people are going to be reviewing that. It's just like interactions with criminals or with citizens.
But you know as well as I do that when there's an opening to find racism for liberals or any of that stuff, it doesn't matter who they are, they will find a way to say, NAACP, look at this white police officer who said this to this guy. He's racist. This department's racist. We have another Ferguson, but yes, but is that the exception to the rule, or is that going to be, because now another thing you have to think about, now you're going to have to hire lots more government employees because somebody's going to have to be going over all of this camera footage.
I think you only go over it if there's an incident, right? I mean, it's not like somebody's going to be watching it live like it's closed camera television in a casino or something.
Okay.
It only comes up if there's an incident when it needs to be used.
How many times have you seen an incident in the last 6 months, someone claiming racism or sexual advance from an officer? He had a body camera on, and you see it, and It's not even remotely close. If you go on YouTube, you'll see people saying, "Oh, he was very mean. He was aggressive. He abused me." And you watch the video, and it didn't happen. It never happened.
And so good for the cop
which
for wearing
is
the
good
body
for the
cam,
cop,
right?
which is good for the cop. But now, how many more people? Now you're going to have people engaging in this over. Well, it maybe it stops it. Maybe it ends up. But I don't. I mean, we're stupid by nature. By nature, we're stupid. So
now my political point.
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you on the politics part of it. I'm a white guy, lives in New Hampshire, on the fence about who to vote for from the start of this thing. Don't like Hillary. Don't think Trump's qualified. Yep. And I keep going back to I want people to convince me why Trump.
Yep.
And so far, all I hear, and I'm talking about this station too, all I hear is what's wrong with Hillary. I don't hear what Trump's planning. What is Trump's running as a Republican? The last time I checked, and I voted for Bush, and I thought the first Bush did a good job. Second one for a while. We were in the middle of the worst recession we've ever had since, the 30s? Yep. The last Bush president, the last Republican in office. And all I hear is Hillary bashing, and I do not like Hillary. But I haven't been a Trump fan either. Convince me why Trump should be president. I want to know what Trump's going to do. I want to know who he's going to put in important places.
Yep.
Because right now, with his lack of experience, I'll vote for Hillary just because I'm not scared. I'm not as scared with Hillary president.
Okay,
you guys bash Trump, bash Trump. I mean, bash Hillary. What makes Trump qualified to be a president?
Okay, totally valid question. Number one, absolutely, because you're seeing a lot of people who said, "Listen, I can't stand the thought of either one. I get reflux just listening to both of them talk." For the most part, most politicians are narcissistic, enormously ego-driven people, which is why they are who they are. I can tell you this, Nick. I've known Mr. Trump for about 10 years. I mean, known him as in I've talked with him. I've gotten to know him a little bit. This is a man who, contrary to popular belief, we're not electing one person to make all the decisions. We're electing a person that we believe will surround themselves with intelligent, American-loving, freedom-driven people. And if you listen to him talk, especially at the town hall the other night, he talked about the fact that, everybody wants to know what you're going to do when you get into office. And most of the people lie and give you an answer that they can't possibly give. You remember Obama telling us, hey, you're going to pull out of Guantanamo the first day, blah, blah, blah. There's only so much you can tell people because there's only so much you know about what you're going to be able to do. This man is a coalition team-building person. He doesn't come across that way. And I don't think he has a good sense of humor. He's not a funny guy. And he says things to try and be funny. Listen, we've spent news cycle after news cycle talking about the Russians hacking into the election, and the liberals are telling you that they're going to hack in to get Trump in, which is the exact opposite of what, I guarantee you, the exact opposite of what Vladimir Putin wants, because he understands Hillary can be bought. That's the first thing. The other piece, real quick, is if you don't like either one, and I totally understand that, your Supreme Court and the Constitution of the United States is on the fence. The rest of your life and your kids' lives, the Supreme Court and what our Constitution looks like will be decided by this election. We're going to take a break. Thanks for the call, Nick. 1-844-900-3838, text 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com, at Gehrig38 on Twitter. Solly on line 3. You'll be next when we come back, and I think I know who you are.
This is the Curt Schilling Show.
Hello, America. Amazingly bad Christopher Walken impersonator here. I gotta tell you, that Europe is one zany country, but don't get me wrong, we got our share of kooky, too. We're now on our quadrennial descent into madness, known as the presidential campaign. Insider or outsider, seasoned politician or successful businessman. Personally, I always vote for the ones who promise me the least. I figure they'll be the least disappointing. My friends at Matthews Brothers, they've been through 40 of these things, starting when James Buchanan beat that rascal John Fremont. They tell me bad officials are elected by good citizens who do not vote. Thank heavens, we still have companies like Matthews Brothers who take pride in honoring their commitment to quality, dependability, and service day in and day out for over 162 years, something to which our elected officials could aspire for maybe 4. You can see their wicked, awesome Maine-made windows, but only at better lumber yards and window professionals throughout New England or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with 1 T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
Hey, it's the car guys, Joe and Bill.
I'm Bill Papa George, your pre-owned auto buying consultant. When you're in the market for a new pre-owned vehicle, call me at 330-CAR-GUYS. My associate Joe and I can make car buying easy. We will meet with you in person at your home, office, or anywhere. Together we will find what you're looking for, year, make, color, model, options. Then we locate that exact vehicle for you through our vast inventory network. But first, this car must pass our rigid 120-point safety and performance guidelines before we deliver it to you. Car Guy approved. Fully serviced and just like new. We started our business knowing that you hate going to a dealership for all the obvious reasons. Limited inventory, high-pressure salesmen, added costs from building and staff overhead. We remove all this from the equation. The Car Guys save you time and money. We even provide financing for all. Take trade-ins for top dollar and can even take the hassle out of selling your present car.
Give us a call at 1-800-300-4600. That's 1-800-300-4600.
If someone you care about is struggling with addiction in any form, from alcohol and chemical dependency to gambling, gaming, or sex, there is hope and compassionate help available. Right Turn, located in Watertown, Massachusetts, offers extended care for addiction in a caring environment where each individual and family is treated with dignity and respect. Right Turn's experienced team includes intervention professionals, psychiatrists, physicians, social workers, and other top addiction specialists. Their approach is a unique combination of evidence-based treatment and creativity, using art, music, and writing to help individuals define themselves and become part of a community of creative people who support each other in recovery. Learn more about the wide range of services Right Turn can offer. From family interventions to extended housing, the journey to recovery can begin today. Visit right-turn.org.
FoodForLiberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, New Manna is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure Water Pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at foodforliberty.com.
If someone you care about is struggling with addiction in any form, from alcohol and chemical dependency to gambling, gaming, or sex, there is hope and compassionate help available. Right Turn, located in Watertown, Massachusetts, offers extended care for addiction in a caring environment where each individual and family is treated with dignity and respect. Right Turn's experienced team includes intervention professionals, psychiatrists, physicians, social workers, and other top addiction specialists. Their approach is a unique combination of evidence-based treatment and creativity, using art, music, and writing to help individuals define themselves and become part of a community of creative people who support each other in recovery. Learn more about the wide range of services Right Turn can offer. From family interventions to extended housing, the journey to recovery can begin today. Visit right-turn.org.
He's locked, loaded, and ready for combat. It's Curt Schilling.
It is Curt Schilling. 1-844-900-3838. Text 680-680. CurtSchillingShow.com at Garrick38. I want to talk about this next caller before we actually get him on the line. God's been good to me. I've been blessed. I've had an amazing life. I've met amazing people. And on my first tour over in Iraq, I was in theater for 10 days. My personal bodyguard was quite arguably the largest human I've ever seen in my life. His name was Solly. He's a Samoan guy, about 6'4", going about 275 with about 3% body fat. And it was awesome. It was so cool. And he ended up, he became a very dear friend of mine. I've been honored to be a part of his life, and I've had him honored to have him be a part of my life. And he is calling in on line 3. Sully, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Curt? How you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Well, congratulations on your show, and I just wanted to call to thank you. I know you supported a lot of our efforts as far as troops and the morale, piece of it, and just my recent deployment to Afghanistan. You sent out quite a few boxes out there, so it made a lot of soldiers happy. It's an honor and a blessing, and I thank you. Each and every year you send out an email to me, and I still can't believe I get email from you. And you send emails out to me, and you say, hey, are there any guys out there you still know? And there's always somebody that, any veteran will know who's out there.
I appreciate that, Sully. You know what? I'm going to say the thanks, obviously, as I said, has always been mine. Your service to this nation, you are a truly good person. And here's something interesting, actually. I'm going to ask you. You are a diehard San Francisco 49ers fan, and you served in the military. Seriously,
yes.
How does the whole Kaepernick thing? What do you think of it?
Well, what do I think personally? Just personally. To put this out there as a disclaimer, right? And so personally, I fully support his First Amendment right. Colin Kaepernick, that's the reason why we're here as military, is to help support and defend, his right to do that. And so it's his First Amendment right to do that. Personally, as far as his technique in getting this accomplished, it's brought the attention to this issue.
Right.
I also think personally that with a lot of military folks who may be San Francisco 49ers fans, I think a lot of them may have approached it differently because we think of the flag as in a different way.
All right, Sully, thank you so much for calling. I'll be in touch, man. God bless. Stay safe.
The Curt Schilling Show.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Work with your doctor when taking medications. Make Protovite part of your healthy lifestyle.
HealthForLiberty.com is your source for Protovite, a powerful nutritional supplement that's a true breakthrough for your health. Poor digestion makes it nearly impossible to absorb the nutrition your body needs. Protovite is a liquid multi-nutrient formula with patent-pending absorption technology and the highest quality ingredients to nourish every cell in your body.
My name is Sandra White. 6 weeks ago, when I started taking Protovite, I was on 14 medications, from everything for blood pressure to fibromyalgia. In the first 10 days, my blood sugar dropped 50 points, and my fibromyalgia pain is gone. And so was 12 of the 14 medications that I was taking. I'm 66, living life and loving it.
Go to HealthForLiberty.com right now. That's HealthForLiberty.com.
Thank you, Protovite, for giving my life back.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Work with your doctor when taking medications. Make Protovite part of your healthy lifestyle.
HealthForLiberty.com is your source for Protovite, a powerful nutritional supplement that's a true breakthrough for your health. Poor digestion makes it nearly impossible to absorb the nutrition your body needs. Protovite is a liquid multi-nutrient formula with patent-pending absorption technology and the highest quality ingredients to nourish every cell in your body.
My name is Sandra White. 6 weeks ago, when I started taking Protovite, I was on 14 medications, from everything for blood pressure to fibromyalgia. In the first 10 days, my blood sugar dropped 50 points, and my fibromyalgia pain is gone. And so was 12 of the 14 medications that I was taking. I'm 66, living life and loving it.
Go to healthforliberty.com right now. That's healthforliberty.com.
Thank you, Protovite, for giving my life back.
Mowing down the mainstream media every Saturday morning. This is the Curt Schilling Show with your host, Curt Schilling.
And starring Curt Schilling with special guest Curt Schilling.
Curt Schilling Show debut, opening day of the Curt Schilling Show. 1-844-900-3838. Text 680 680. CurtSchillingShow.com and at Gehrig38. We're going to stick on the topic of the police officers with the body cams, and we're going to go to line one with Glenn. Glenn, you're on, bud. What's going on?
Hi, Curt. First of all, thanks for your work with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. My grandmother passed from that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And it's just horrific and I'm sure you're aware of what goes on. It's just absolutely horrific. And I would like to say that if the government spent half what they spend on a voluntary virus on ALS, maybe we'd be much further down the road.
Agreed.
So we'll let that go. So also on Krippenak, Krippenkrap, or whatever you want to call him, he's biracial, to my understanding, but he was raised by white parents, so I think he should only sit for half of the national anthem, based on he's only been half dissed on, and the other half's fine because we're the one dissing. That's just one opinion on that. And then my third thought, if you don't mind, is the body cams really quickly. I think the officers, one of the problems is if they want to get with a confidential informant, that's all going to be taped. So you're going to sit down and talk to a police officer about the guy down the block if you know you're being taped. That's going to preclude them from wanting to open up to an officer that they may want to be a confidential informant. And then the last thing is the gentleman that called was unsure about Trump and his policies. He must be living under a rock because he wants to build a wall.
Right.
He wants to stop illegal immigration. He wants to reform taxes. He wants to build up our schools. He wants to build up our militaries and put good generals back in. Yet he says, I think I'll vote for Hillary. Well, we know her record.
Right. But I think a lot of that's the hesitancy to believe what they hear because he isn't a politician. And the things that he says, people are like, that can't be true. So, hey, Glenn, one thing, you're going to get and I can't believe I'm actually uttering these words and first time in my life, a Curt Schilling Show t-shirt for free. Go to CurtSchillingShow.com and click the store to celebrate the first show. We'll give you free shipping today only. Just use a coupon code Curt at checkout, CurtSchillingShow.com. Click on the store. Glenn
doesn't need to go. Glenn, you just hang around on the line. Yep. Grace will get your address and we'll send you out a free shirt.
You get to talk to Grace. Thanks,
Thank
Glenn.
you, sir.
All right, sir. Matt, you're on line 2. What's going on, man?
Oh, good to talk to you. And before I get to my point, I was driving over the George Washington Bridge last night, and obviously with September 11th tomorrow, you can't think of just how beautiful the skyline looks and how far the last 15 years that city's come. And, I know things aren't perfect, but we could be in a lot worse place right now after that terrorist attack.
Yeah.
But with I'm not one of these Trump haters. I don't go nuts with when the media freaks out. But I do disagree with you on the point that him getting the best people. George Bush sold us that in 2000, and I really think he made a lot of bad judgment calls. I know he trusted, he had the same formula. He trusted the people around him, but I think he was another guy, kind of like Trump. Maybe he wasn't as great on the issues, but, was a good decision maker. But I think he was misled. I think they gave him bad intel, and I think he really had a tough first term. I give him credit. I agree with the surge. I think he did some good things in the second term, but I really think he had a tough introduction that first term.
Right.
I don't know what your thoughts
Well, so let me ask you this, and I don't like to go from defending Trump to going to Hillary, but do you trust Hillary to do the right thing in any possible way?
Curt, I'm having obviously you can tell I'm a little bit more moderate, probably leaning left. I'm having a really hard time with Hillary.
Right. Okay. So here's what I would tell you. Who the people. Uma Aberdeen will probably be her chief of staff. And the other people that she's leaned on to make these things. The scariest thing for me is we know that Hillary Clinton is involved and has been involved in pay for play. Who's to say that's going to change in the White House? That scares me. But to get back to Mr. Trump, here's what I would tell you. At the end of the day, you need to find it in yourself to pick one of the candidates to vote for. If you're not going to vote for either candidate, then look to the Supreme Court, look to the Constitution and the future of this country and what that means. However, I would tell you this. Knowing Mr. Trump, he is a consensus builder. He is a team builder. You can not trust him to do some things, but he's not going to do stuff on his own. He's not going to be running around with his hair on fire and the football pressing the button to launch stuff. He's made it clear, and I would ask you, look at his kids, look at his sons, and look at his daughter, who's probably going to be running the Trump empire if he wins the office. Sure. I've always believed you can tell a lot about a man by his children, and by the way they're brought up, and I know him. I'm not intimately, but I know him, and I would tell you. You don't get where he is. Listen, he was I don't want to say a golden spoon-fed kid, but he inherited money. He turned it into a lot more money. He's a successful businessman. Don't you think over the last 30 years, if Donald Trump was corrupt, conniving, a lawbreaker, and all the things that the liberals want you to believe, we would know about that. If he wasn't trustworthy, if he was a scumbag, we would have heard those things.
Kurt, I agree with you there. I don't buy the bridge that he's an evil guy.
No, but at the end of the day, we've gotten where we've gotten because we've continued to elect politically entrenched people. The Bush family are very dear friends of ours, and I believe I've never met a man or a family that loves this country and its soldiers more than that family does. Yes, he got bad advice, but at the end of the day, it falls on, and he would tell you this, it falls on the man making the decisions. And I trust that Donald Trump will take, I don't know if you saw the town hall the other night. We talked about, I'll be in the Situation Room. I'll be sitting with my Joint Chiefs. I'll listen to their recommendations, and I'll take them along with my ideas, and we'll formulate the best possible plan. That's all you can ask, really. I mean,
well, Kurt, I tell you, I was a never Trump person, but what's coming out with Hillary, and if he does a good job in the debate, I'm not too proud to say, my father's been a lifelong Democrat, but he's voted for Republicans. My grandfather the same way. So first debate, we'll see what happens. But I appreciate the call or you taking my call, and good luck with your show.
All right, Matt. Thanks a lot, man. And Matt, you too. Can you hang on 1 second because you're going to talk to Grace? You get a Curt Schilling Show T-shirt as well. Thank you, bub. We're gonna move from body cams to another topic that actually makes my I can't say what it makes me, but it's incredibly disturbing. Royalston, Mass., which is a town I've never really heard of, Steve, but Royalston, Mass., the wives of police officers in Royalston, Mass. went around town and put blue ribbons on trees to show their support for the law enforcement officials. Basically to say, you know what, we're one huge family. The town, the woman said they received a verbal okay from a town official before the event, which was attended by law enforcement and their families. They were planning to take them down after a month. Two residents, who clearly are too much of a coward to be named, either one of them, complained to the town select board, which agreed to only allow a 2-week permit until September 9th. One of the residents was reportedly upset that the ribbons were allowed without an official permit. There are people I want to throat punch and on a daily basis, and it's people like that because... and I'll get into it in a minute. I ran into one of these stories as well, but this is a much more. These are police officers. These are these are the values. These are the things we want our kids and our family. That's America. Supporting first responders is an American thing.
When did it become controversial, though?
Right.
Like, is it because of the Black Lives Matter movement? Is there something else going on? When did it become controversial to show support for cops?
Well, here's what I would tell you, and I've understood this. I'm thinking about running for Senate in Mass in 2018, and I would love to. Listen, I'm in a country. I can run for the White House. Whether it's a joke, I can do it. I want to,
Yeah, where's your birth certificate?
Well, I have my birth certificate, but I don't get where we are. How did this happen? How did we get here where supporting our first responders has become something? There's a downside, but what I was going to say is politics and power happen at the local level, the city level, the planning boards, the committees. These are the people that are making decisions that impact the daily lives of American citizens. And you want to see power gone awry? Look at some of these selectmen, these town boards. I have chickens. I have what I would like to call Noah's Ark.
You're a farmer?
I am. Well, I would love to be called a farmer. But
Curt Schilling, the farmer.
I have chickens. And by the way, my alpha male chicken his name is Jax. He is a Jersey giant, but I love animals. I've always loved animals. I have chickens, llamas, alpacas. I have some goats that I share on a farm with a tremendously good group of people. I had them at my house in Medfield, and they were in my backyard, and I had a coop, and they were fenced in, and I had really understanding neighbors. I'd give them free eggs all the time to try and keep the...
Did you give them free alpaca fur?
I did not. I didn't have the alpacas at my house. I just had chickens. However, there was a complaint made to the Medfield the town health the board by someone who doesn't even live in my neighborhood. Someone who in no way, shape, or form was impacted or affected by the poultry in my home. And it elicited a response from the town to the point where I've moved my birds and my animals out of our backyard and onto farmland. And I got involved obviously with the town hall and all the things that go with that. And why the hell do people continue to stick their nose in things that have... This person was a liberal, obviously, doesn't like my political whatever, and complained about things that weren't true. We have a 150-year-old town law, which basically says people in these little towns think you can't have roosters. Our law, everybody says you're not allowed to own a rooster in Medfield. Well, actually you are. The town statute says you can own one as long as an abutting neighbor doesn't complain. And again, I gave away a lot of free eggs to make sure that they didn't complain. But why? This is where you see power gone awry. This is a person who had no business even being...
Just a liberal busybody.
A nosy a person who was mad that they thought I got treated differently. And that's exactly what was said, which was they threatened the people in the Medfield Town Hall to go public, quote unquote, with this story.
The double standard for Curt Schilling's chickens. Why does Curt Schilling get to have chickens and we don't?
It wasn't even why I had chickens. It was that I had more chickens than they thought I was allowed to have and blah, blah, blah. But it was like, first of all, none of what they were complaining about was true. They were just complaining to be pissed. And I was like, come on, you got to be kidding me. So I moved my birds. And the sad thing was, there was a lot of people that would come by, kids, and they would come down to the fence and talk to the birds or whatever. And for me, they are so peaceful, man. Every morning I'd go out there and just chill and feed them and clean and do the things I do. And I absolutely love the thought of that life.
Does your rooster cock-a-doodle-doo at 3:30?
No. Roosters don't crow at sunlight and sunset. They crow for reasons. They hear a sound. A lot of different. I've never heard them crow in the middle of the night. Plus, you know what? If they did crow at sun, I'd rather hear a rooster crow at sunrise than an alarm clock.
Yeah, absolutely. But ask your neighbors if they want to hear that on a Saturday. That's probably why the ordinance was passed 150 years ago.
Absolutely, and I agree with that. If you have abutting neighbors, I agree with that. But one of my dreams someday is to open an animal rescue, because first of all, I think zoos are need to go away. I want to open an animal rescue, and I want to bring in orphaned and abused and abandoned children to live there and to raise the animals, because I think that is the ultimate way to teach young people about respect and about life. I was born in Alaska, so you learned how to shoot a rifle in Alaska before you learned how to wear diapers, because getting eaten by a bear on the way to school was like a legitimate option in Alaska. So, but my dad taught me. My dad was a hunter. I've never been a hunter, but my dad taught me respect for creatures and for animals and for life. And I thought it was I've tried to pass it on to my children as well. My wife, not so much the dog person, although she does love pugs, but
pugs aren't real dogs anyways.
Well,
so.
See, now there are a lot of people right now that are going to be really pissed that you just said that. But I've always owned Rottweilers because first of all, I love the breed, and they're great dogs. They're friendly dogs. They're great, loyal, and all the things. And we have a pug named Willow that is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. By the way, my pug was a hermaphrodite.
You have, in addition to having roosters and having chickens and alpacas and llamas, Curt Schilling has a hermaphrodite pug.
Had. Okay, and we found out because we took her in to get her spayed, and I guess I got to call it it now. LGBT is going to go nuts over this, I'm sure.
I think it's Zer or Zim.
I called him Shim.
Shim, yeah,
Okay.
that's probably appropriate. Don't want to mispronounce
So the vet
him.
calls us and says, we can't do the surgery. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't do the surgery? He's like, your dog has the fully developed reproductive organs of both sexes. So we had to decide.
I still can't get over. You have you had a hermaphrodite.
We had to decide what we wanted, and her name was Willow. So we didn't want to go to Will. So we just had him take off the boy stuff and greatest dog in the world, and they are their own little cult. Pug owners are their own little cult.
Let the dog self-identify, put it in a room with male toys and girl toys and see what it goes for.
When I take her outside, I allow her to pee wherever she chooses to pee because I don't want to put that kind of pressure on her. And the other two dogs at home are both girls, so I don't want to make her into something she doesn't want to be. So I just kind of let her do and come and go and do the things she does.
See, this is something that should come out because clearly you have an advanced understanding of gender identity.
You know what? One of the things when ESPN fired me, one of the things that people, they attach the racist and I'm going to actually talk about this very thing with Ann Coulter when she comes on for the last half hour. People call me racist, sexist. Well, people like Hillary call me all the things that Hillary called one.
And everybody else too.
Yes. I'm none of those things. I have kids who are very involved in that community as friends, as supporters, who their friends are in our house all the time. I have no problem with any of that. I've never had a problem with that. It's just almost a lot like I think people say to Christians, don't push your religion, don't force feed. I don't care about those things. I care about, are you a good person? Are you good to people? If those are the two things you are, I don't care about the other stuff. And I'm tired of trying to be made to care. And a lot of it is for me with the Bruce Jenner stuff. I feel like they want us to care 10 times more than we ever could care about things that we don't care about. And that to me was the whole ESPN thing with the Arthur S. Courage Award and awarding it to him or her or whatever it is. I worked in the software industry. I had a company, all right, and I had employees in that industry they're amazing people. And so that stuff has never, ever been an issue, but people make it out to be that way. This is the Curt Schilling Show, the inaugural opening day Curt Schilling Show, 1-844-900-3838. Text 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com. At Garrick38, I'm on Twitter. Back in a minute.
The Curt Schilling Show.
Steve, how did the big company outdoor outing go last weekend?
Oh, hey, Carol. It couldn't have gone any better.
Really? That's great. How was the food?
It was incredible. Everything was so fresh.
Hey, didn't you serve a bunch of seafood? How did you pull that off?
It was easy. We had Century Leasing deliver a walk-in on wheels right to the event space. And I got to tell you, the caterers loved the easy access and convenience.
Easy, affordable, portable cold storage. Find out more at walkinonwheels.com.
Want more Curt Schilling? Yeah! Watch the Curt Cam at CurtSchillingShow.com. While you're there, check out Curt's store. Get an official Curt Schilling Show shirt or grab a Curt Schilling Show baseball hat. And if you like Curt and hate Hillary, we've got you covered with Curt's Hillary from Prison t-shirts. Curt Schilling all the time. Online, CurtSchillingShow.com.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
There's a lot to love about driving a brand new Subaru Legacy. From its symmetrical all-wheel drive to its standard Bluetooth hands-free technology. Love all the Legacy has to offer for only $199 per month for 36 months with $18.69 due at signing. Or buy with 0% financing for up to 63 months.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
The Subaru of New England A Lot to Love clearance ends August 31st. For complete details and a list of Subaru retailers, go to SubaruofNewEngland.com. There's a lot to love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
People love to shop. What if you could shop and it was actually good for you? What if you could actually purchase items that bettered your life? What goes into your body is important to what quality of life you have. How about shopping for items that better your health? GetTheT.com is that shopping place. We're not only tea, even though that's our #1 seller, we are about helping your health. There's Colostrum LD for those of you with autoimmune troubles. The product helps your stomach get on track. GI problems produce pain. Get relief with Colostrum LD. How about some fat burners? Or maybe some joint aid? Or a power cleanse? There's so much to tell you with very little time. So get help health-wise at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or you can call our friendly operators at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Get help and relief by going shopping. Shop at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Serving people with great products for over 8 years. GetTheT.com.
Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality storable foods from Numana. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or an outdoor sports enthusiast, Foodforliberty.com has your prepackaged single-serve packs or kits for the entire family. Numana is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. With a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Right now, Foodforliberty.com is offering a special gift, a heavy-duty Survivor dry storage box designed for extreme bug-out conditions. This storage box is built to last, includes compass, signaling mirror, and is yours free with a $50 order. Go to foodforliberty.com right now and pick up your quality storable foods from Numana. To get the Survivor dry storage box, use promo code LIBERTY. It makes good sense to be prepared. Go to foodforliberty.com.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923 and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
He's on the mound and pitching the truth. This is the Curt Schilling Show with your host, Curt Schilling.
844-900-3838. Text line 680-680. This is Curt Schilling on the Curt Schilling, the opening day for the Curt Schilling Show. Real quick, I want to talk about the head in the sand liberal approach to everything. Can you run the John Kerry sound for me,
If
Steve?
you decide one day you're going to be a terrorist and you're willing to kill yourself, you can go out and kill some people. You can make some noise. Perhaps the media would do us all a service if they didn't cover it quite as much. People wouldn't know
Seriously.
what's going on.
Okay, so let's add that to the if we just give them jobs, they'll stop killing us, to if we don't say Islamic extremism, they won't hurt us. You know what? How do you beat that? How do you beat that logic?
Are you going to raise some ostriches along with your alpacas?
I would love to have ostriches, though. They're huge. They're huge. They're scary looking. So this is Curt Schilling, 1-844-900-3838. Text 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com, at Garrick38 on Twitter.
The Curt Schilling Show.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
People love to shop. What if you could shop and it was actually good for you? What if you could actually purchase items that bettered your life? What goes into your body is important to what quality of life you have. How about shopping for items that better your health? GetTheT.com is that shopping place. We're not only tea, even though that's our #1 seller, we are about helping your health. There's Colostrum LD for those of you with autoimmune troubles. The product helps your stomach get on track. GI problems produce pain. Get relief with Colostrum LD. How about some fat burners? Or maybe some joint aid? Or a power cleanse? There's so much to tell you with very little time. So get help health-wise at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or you can call our friendly operators at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Get help and relief by going shopping. Shop at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Serving people with great products for over 8 years. GetTheT.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Work with your doctor when taking medications. Make Protovite part of your healthy lifestyle.
HealthForLiberty.com is your source for Protovite, a powerful nutritional supplement that's a true breakthrough for your health. Poor digestion makes it nearly impossible to absorb the nutrition your body needs. Protovite is a liquid multi-nutrient formula with patent-pending absorption technology and the highest quality ingredients to nourish every cell in your body.
My name is Sandra White. 6 weeks ago, when I started taking Protovite, I was on 14 medications, from everything for blood pressure to fibromyalgia. In the first 10 days, my blood sugar dropped 50 points, and my fibromyalgia pain is gone. And so was 12 of the 14 medications that I was taking. I'm 66, living life and loving it.
Go to HealthForLiberty.com right now. That's HealthForLiberty.com.
Thank you, Protovite, for giving my life back.
FoodForLiberty.com sells high-quality storable foods from Numana. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or an outdoor sports enthusiast, FoodForLiberty.com has your prepackaged single-serve packs or kits for the entire family. Numana is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. With a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Right now, FoodForLiberty.com is offering a special gift, a heavy-duty Survivor dry storage box designed for extreme bug-out conditions. This storage box is built to last, includes compass, signaling mirror, and is yours free with a $50 order. Go to foodforliberty.com right now and pick up your quality storable foods from Numana. To get the Survivor dry storage box, use promo code LIBERTY. It makes good sense to be prepared. Go to foodforliberty.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water and it's leaving white spots, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes. Limescale can cost hundreds of dollars a year in wasted energy and early appliance breakdown. HydroCare systems available at Wave Home Solutions prevent and remove limescale with just a simple filter change every 3 years. There are no salts, chemicals, or magnetic coils. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, just go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Work with your doctor when taking medications. Make Protovite part of your healthy lifestyle.
HealthForLiberty.com is your source for Protovite, a powerful nutritional supplement that's a true breakthrough for your health. Poor digestion makes it nearly impossible to absorb the nutrition your body needs. Protovite is a liquid multi-nutrient formula with patent-pending absorption technology and the highest quality ingredients to nourish every cell in your body.
My name is Sandra White. 6 weeks ago, when I started taking Protovite, I was on 14 medications, from everything for blood pressure to fibromyalgia. In the first 10 days, my blood sugar dropped 50 points, and my fibromyalgia pain is gone. And so was 12 of the 14 medications that I was taking. I'm 66, living life and loving it.
Go to healthforliberty.com right now. That's healthforliberty.com.
Thank you, Protovite, for giving my life back.
People love to shop. What if you could shop and it was actually good for you? What if you could actually purchase items that bettered your life? What goes into your body is important to what quality of life you have. How about shopping for items that better your health? GetTheT.com is that shopping place. We're not only tea, even though that's our number one seller, we are about helping your health. There's Colostrum LD for those of you with autoimmune troubles. The product helps your stomach get on track. GI problems produce pain. Get relief with Colostrum LD. How about some fat burners? Or maybe some joint aid? Or a power cleanse? There's so much to tell you with very little time. So get help health-wise at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or you can call our friendly operators at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Get help and relief by going shopping. Shop at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Serving people with great products for over 8 years. GetTheT.com.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Live from the People's Republic of Massachusetts.
Our president basically said that we are lazy when it comes to world affairs.
It's the Curt Schilling Show.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Lena Dunham, in my book, she's a bullion.
Don't want a nation under the new media.
If Bill Clinton would have done his job, there would have been no Bin Laden.
It get you with the sound of hysteria.
It's scary stuff how hard the media is attempting to skew the narrative.
The subliminal mind America.
The next president that goes into the White House got to fix 8 years of absolute buffoonery and embarrassing representation of the United States of America around the world.
Troublemaker extraordinaire, Curt Schilling.
Opening day on the Curt Schilling Show, my first ever show, 1-844-900-3838. Text 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com, streaming online, and I am at Garrick38 on Twitter. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, and over the next year, we're gonna have conversations about things. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna mock, we're gonna be sarcastic, but we're gonna be serious. This is a no joke topic here. North Korea's. This is the front page of the LA Times. North Korea's, quote, higher-level nuclear test explosion sets the region on edge. From the article, North Korea said it conducted a, quote, higher-level, unquote, nuclear warhead explosion Friday, a fifth atomic test that set the region on edge, drew condemnations from across Asia and exacerbated fears that the country is making progress on its goal of making progress. They blew the bomb up. It's a nuclear warhead. Where else do you have to progress? You've got it, right? On its goal of developing the technology to wage a nuclear strike on the U.S. The Korean Central News Agency said in a statement that the test shows North Korea's toughest will to be prepared, and listen to this, to retaliate against any, quote, unquote, provocation by U.S.-led hostile forces who have gone desperate in their moves to find fault with the sovereign states exercise the right of self-defense. The only thing that Kim Jong-un regime can gain from the nuclear test is stronger sanctions from the international community, said Park Geun-hye of South Korea. She said in a statement, such provocation will eventually hasten its path to self-destruction. Then they had Deon Kim, a visiting senior research fellow at the Korean Peninsula Future Forum, an independent think tank in Seoul. She added, sanctions alone have not blunted Pyongyang nuclear missile programs. I think we have a soundbite of Bill Clinton when he was president talking about North Korea's path to nuclear weapons.
Before I take your questions, I'd like to say just a word about the framework with North Korea that Ambassador Gallucci signed this morning. This is a good deal for the United States. North Korea will freeze and then dismantle its nuclear program. South Korea and our other allies will be better protected. The entire world will be safer as we slow the spread of nuclear weapons. South Korea, with support from Japan and other nations, will bear most of the cost of providing North Korea with fuel to make up for the nuclear energy it is losing. And they will pay for an alternative power system for North Korea that will allow them to produce electricity while making it much harder for them to produce nuclear weapons. The United States and international inspectors will carefully monitor North Korea to make sure it keeps its commitments. Only as it does so will North Korea fully join the community of nations.
All right, so not 1 ounce of that is even remotely true or ever was. And just in case you're not scared enough already or worried enough already, it is China's firm stance to achieve denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, prevent nuclear proliferation, and promote peace and stability in Northeast Asia, it said. We strongly urge North Korea to keep its promise of denuclearization, comply with the related decisions made by the UN Security Council, not take away any action to deteriorate the situation. So then our president decides he's going to make a statement, and you know what? It's been 8 years of this. This is much like the drone strike program. This is the kicking down the can down the road statement from our president. Statement by the president of North Korea. I'm just going to touch on a couple of the highlights. In the first sentence, the United States condemns in the strongest possible terms as a grave threat. What the hell does that mean? We're against it?
This is like one of the most common Obama. Anytime he has to condemn something in the strongest possible terms, don't tell us that you're using the strongest possible terms. Just use them.
Listen, you can beat up kids at recess, but I condemn it in the strongest possible terms. Not going to stop you, but just don't do it. He said, to be clear, the United States does not and never will accept North Korea as a nuclear state. That implies to me that he believes North Korea is not a nuclear state, and if they ever to become one, that he wouldn't accept it, right?
Yeah, and here's another thing. When you're talking about like nuclear, trying to war game it out, they don't test that nuke unless they have another one ready to go, because they don't want to be caught without an active device. Right. So we know they have multiple devices.
So he's saying, basically is implying that if they ever become nuclear, we'll be really mad at them. Today's nuclear test, a flagrant violation of multiple UN Security Council resolutions, which means what? You cannot have a nuclear North Korea. You cannot have it. So on the heels of that, you listen to this. This is Allison Evans, a North Korea analyst at IHS Markit, a consultancy. We estimate that North Korea has, before I say this again, let me reiterate. President Obama said if they cannot become a nuclear state. We estimate that North Korea has an inventory of 15 to 20 nuclear weapons and that they could be put on a truck or a short-range missile. But what North Korea is aiming for is to put them on an intercontinental ballistic missile, she said. Not so coincidentally, North Korea was founded 68 years ago Friday, the day of the test. So, okay, so we're gonna get really mad at North Korea if they become nuclear. Okay, they are, and there's no situation where that's good for anybody, definitely in that region, but in the world. This is an unstable and has always been an unstable. Here's how unstable, Steve. Fox News. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un has banned sarcasm. Okay, first off, I'm dead. If I'm even remotely near China, I'm executed immediately. North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-un has banned his people from using sarcasm. Government officials have been used to issue a chilling warning that ironic statements will not be forgiven. Among those is, "This is all America's fault." And my favorite, another blacklisted expression is, "a fool who cannot see the outside world." So basically, if you were in our political system or in this election in America, in China, you'd be getting these people would be killed. No more sarcasm.
I mean, they have tens of thousands of people in political prisoner camps. I mean, their ideology believes that political dissent needs to be punished through 3 generations.
Right.
So there are like grandkids who have never known what the world is outside of a death camp. And then they're talking about welcoming North Korea into the community of nations. They have death camps. They have political prisoner camps. What makes people think they have any interest in being welcomed into the community of nations?
Well, I if I'm not mistaken, in the last 6 to 8 months, we've heard another president speak about keeping a nation dying to become non-nuclear through a treaty, right?
Remember, I have always insisted that I will do what is necessary to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon, and I will. But I also know that a diplomatic solution is the best way to get this done and offers a more comprehensive and lasting solution. It is our best option by far.
Okay, here's where I get pissed. You cannot diplomatically negotiate with people who want to kill you. There is no diplomatic end. Now listen, I'm not saying go Clint Eastwood rogue and just start killing everybody, because that's not what you do. There is no diplomatic solution. The deal, listen, we just paid $400 million in currency that none of it was U.S., by the way, all cash, for hostages. The Middle East now knows that they can make money off of us by being terrorists. And that is, we've never negotiated with terrorists until now. The world is, and one of my biggest beefs in the last 8 years, our standing on the global stage is almost gone. All of the work, all the blood, sweat, and tears. Here's the deal. 1945, Second World War ends, Japan surrenders. It was either let Russia overrun the rest of Europe, or somebody had to stand up and become the world's police force. Nobody else did it. We did. Our men and women took on that responsibility. Now, you can complain all you want about how we conducted ourselves in the last 70 years. And yeah, you know what? We went around police the world for personal interest. Well, if we're going to do the job, if we're going to send our boys and our girls and our soldiers around the world to be buried on other countries' soil, we're going to have, I don't want to send our soldiers for nothing. You know, people say, oh, you went to Iraq and blah, blah, blah. The fallacy behind that is still sickening. There were weapons of mass destruction, and they talked about the fact that they had found those after the invasion. But if we are the world's police force, like it or not, that's who we are. We run NATO for the most part, and we allow and ask our allies to be a part of that. We took it on that banner. Don't tell us how to do the job if you're not going to do it with us. So, yeah, that gets me hot. But North Korea is nuclear, by the way, President Obama. 1-844-900-3838, text 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com, at Garrick38 on Twitter. Back in a minute.
The Curt Schilling Show.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
There There's a lot to love about driving a brand new Subaru Legacy. From its symmetrical all-wheel drive to its standard Bluetooth hands-free technology. Love all the Legacy has to offer for only $199 per month for 36 months with $18.69 due at signing. Or buy with 0% financing for up to 63 months.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
The Subaru of New England A Lot to Love clearance ends August 31st. For complete details and a list of Subaru retailers, go to SubaruofNewEngland.com. There's a lot to love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
Hello, America. Horribly bad Christopher Walken impersonator here. I gotta say, some people get distressed over words spoken in the presidential campaign. To wit, Player 1 calls Player 2 a hideous hermaphroditical character which has neither the force and firmness of a man nor the gentleness and sensibility of a woman. So Player 2 labels Player 1 a fool, a hypocrite, a criminal, and a tyrant. And this was Jefferson and Adams 200 years ago. My friends, if Windows progressed like politics, Matthews Brothers would still be making single-pane wood windows. Instead, they make thermally efficient, structurally sound, incredibly constructed eye candy for your home. You gotta see their wicked, awesome Maine-made windows, but only at better lumber yards and window professionals throughout New England or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
FoodForLiberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, New Manna is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to FoodForLiberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure Water Pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at FoodForLiberty.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water and it's leaving white spots, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes. Limescale can cost hundreds of dollars a year in wasted energy and early appliance breakdown. HydroCare systems available at Wave Home Solutions prevent and remove limescale with just a simple filter change every 3 years. There are no salts, chemicals, or magnetic coils. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, just go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water and it's leaving white spots, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes. Limescale can cost hundreds of dollars a year in wasted energy and early appliance breakdown. HydroCare systems available at Wave Home Solutions prevent and remove limescale with just a simple filter change every 3 years. There are no salts, chemicals, or magnetic coils. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, just go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
likes to win. And this is the most important game of his career. Saving America. It's the Curt Schilling Show.
Oh, you cannot go wrong with South Park Soundbites, the most politically incorrect show in the history of television. So college is starting this week, Steve. Tuition through the roof now. And there are things going on across this country and college campuses that I don't even know where to go. So we're going to start at the top of these. From the Daily Caller. Civil rights leader says California colleges' segregated dorms violate federal laws. California State University, Los Angeles students requested an African-American dorm only. I thought we actually left that to get to equal opportunity. Wasn't that the whole civil rights march? So no one was supposed to be treated differently. So Michael Myers, president and executive director of the New York Civil Rights Coalition, who is a self-described unrepentant liberal, a former assistant director of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and an African-American himself, begins a letter requesting a formal statement from the college confirming the existence of the hall. In short, we will want to know whether there has been created and opened a separate residence or a section of residential house for black students only.
So my question is, what if this is white students and they say we want a dorm that's white students only?
The KKK.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
outrage. National story. CNN, MSNBC, they run with it. Those people's lives are ruined.
Apparently they would obviously be Trump supporters at that point based on Hillary. But again, we've look how many years that I think the African American community has tried to get away from this exact thing. And so that to me is going to be a much bigger conversation. And at another institution of higher learning, Brown University, free tampons for all. Like really, I've
got no problem with that if they want to have free tampons in the women's room.
At midnight, the day before classes began at Brown, Viet Nguyen and 6 other student government reps crept through the campus looking for bathrooms. In their hands, they held small baskets of feminine hygiene products to stash inside. Name brand tampons and sanitary pads that the next day students would be encouraged to take and use all free. They hit 30 buildings, an estimated 70 bathrooms, men's, women's, and gender neutral in 2 hours. And here's the thing, listen, if you can think of a time in your life when you did some of the dumbest stuff you've ever done, I would assume it all correlates with college. The ability for that to go off the rails is stratospheric, and
not to mention, you know what college guys are like. They see those tampons in there. You know, they're all going to waste.
There's going to be fires and fights with tampons everywhere.
And what's their thinking though? What is it?
Well, that is the whole safe. We don't.
Is this a transgender thing?
Absolutely. We don't want you to. But I don't know. If you're a man who becoming a woman or who wants to be a woman, you go to the bathroom in the women's room where the female products are, right? Who in a male bathroom would need to use one? Okay, so this is absolutely at the heart of liberalism. According to a recent survey conducted by NPR, 51% of college professors report they have used trigger warnings in class. Okay. Only 3.4% said students had requested trigger warnings themselves, creating a problem that doesn't exist. And I know this whole thing is a controversial topic, but I went to 1 year of junior college, so I cannot speak expertly on this, but I do know about the real world. The real world absolutely has no care or concern for your trigger warnings.
We didn't even give a trigger warning for the show.
Right.
We forgot.
If there's anything that needs a trigger warning right now, it would be this show.
Actually, I think trigger almost needs a trigger warning.
Does.
That implies guns.
If I say trigger, yep, absolutely. But here's the other thing. However, not a single respondent could recall an instance in which a student skipped class or avoided an assignment to avoid sensitive topics. But hey, let's create a problem where one doesn't exist. Oh, yeah, this next one from the Daily Caller again. Headline: Georgetown slave descendants want $1 billion reconciliation fund. That's billion with a B. And there is something to the story in this sense. The descendants of slaves sold by Georgetown University are calling on the school to create $1 billion reconciliation fund 1 week after the school apologized for its role in slave trade and promised several, much cheaper, efforts to make up for it. In 1838, Georgetown sold off 272 slaves in order to pay its debts, selling them for $115,000, which today's money is over $3 million. Georgetown has said it would offer a special admissions preference for any descendants of the 272 slaves the school sold. The school's decision to confront the more sordid parts of its past won praise from some quarters, though several black writers criticized the move as hopelessly insufficient. But some descendants of the 272 slaves told the Post, the school's recent announcements aren't enough. They want more, $1 billion more. So I saw, there's a YouTube clip out. Dinesh D'Souza went to Amherst, and there was a kid at Amherst who stood up, and he was a freshman, very intelligent kid, just dangerously intelligent enough to ask a question. And it was about white privilege and about how post-World War II, the GI Bill afforded whites a much better opportunity economically, on and on and on. And Dinesh basically said this: you can either go back and pay for the sins of the past or accept that we've passed laws to fix it going into the future. To go back and do this, to go back and make reparations, you have to break pretty much every amendment in the Constitution. You would have to go in and take people's physical property who had nothing to do with owning a slave other than being born as a descendant.
I mean, this is kind of a different issue because it's a private institution. You know, It's a college. If they want to spend that much money, I mean, there's no constitutional issues there.
No, and that money certainly couldn't be spent better elsewhere.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like colleges,
right.
colleges, they fund research, they do important things. Like Georgetown, I think has is it Georgetown or George Washington that has the Antonin Scalia law center?
I think it's George Washington. But there are things happening on campuses for conservative students who are being shut up. Trump signs, Trump things being destroyed on campus, which again, if it was done by a conservative to a Clinton thing, it would be a hate crime. They would be investigated by the campus police and all the things that go with that. So there is, when we talk about a broken education system, to me, that's right at the heart of it is the liberal captain of the ship, which is our professors and teachers. Not all of them.
And mommies and daddies everywhere are still paying $250,000 a year for these kids to go to these schools and get the tampons in the male bathrooms.
They are getting $150,000 to $200,000 educations to get out of college and get a job paying $40,000 a year. Ann Coulter will be on the other side of this break. This is the Curt Schilling Show. 1-844-900-3838. Text 680-680. CurtSchillingShow.com. Back.
Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality storable foods from Numana. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or an outdoor sports enthusiast, Foodforliberty.com has your prepackaged single-serve packs or kits for the entire family. Numana is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. With a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Right now, Foodforliberty.com is offering a special gift, a heavy-duty Survivor dry storage box designed for extreme bug-out conditions. This storage box is built to last, includes compass, signaling mirror, and is yours free with a $50 order. Go to foodforliberty.com right now and pick up your quality storable foods from Numana. To get the Survivor dry storage box, use promo code LIBERTY. It makes good sense to be prepared. Go to foodforliberty.com.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water and it's leaving white spots, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes. Limescale can cost hundreds of dollars a year in wasted energy and early appliance breakdown. HydroCare systems available at Wave Home Solutions prevent and remove limescale with just a simple filter change every 3 years. There are no salts, chemicals, or magnetic coils. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, just go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
People love to shop. What if you could shop and it was actually good for you? What if you could actually purchase items that bettered your life? What goes into your body is important to what quality of life you have. How about shopping for items that better your health? GetTheT.com is that shopping place. We're not only tea, even though that's our number one seller, we are about helping your health. There's Colostrum LD for those of you with autoimmune troubles. The product helps your stomach get on track. GI problems produce pain. Get relief with Colostrum LD. How about some fat burners? Or maybe some joint aid? Or a power cleanse? There's so much to tell you with very little time. So get help health-wise at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Or you can call our friendly operators at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Get help and relief by going shopping. Shop at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Serving people with great products for over 8 years. GetTheT.com.
You saw the sock. He's a red-blooded American. This is the Curt Schilling Show.
Curt Schilling Show, opening day, 844-900-3838, text 680-680. I was going to say my next guest, but I get to say my very first guest ever, and I'm honored to have her, is a New York Times best-selling author. She sold like 38 billion books. Just came out with a new one, In Trump We Trust, which is a fascinating and, as usual, fact-based, data-driven report. Ann Coulter is here to join me as my first guest. Ann, how are you?
Oh, I'm so honored to be your first guest.
Knowing that you were born in New York City, I think that might be sarcasm.
No, you're the one Boston Red Sox I love.
So, we have a lot in common. First off, I'm about research, so I was obviously pouring around trying to find anything actually truthful about you on the internet, which is hard. But we are Christians first, and we are incredibly upset conservatives second. Which I love to read. So your book just came out, and it is another book. I got to give you a real quick personal story. You were in Boston. You did a show with Bill Maher, and I was I was one of the 4 Republicans in the building. 5 counting you. And it was an incredible insight to me into the modern day discussion of politics. You laid out, and I'm just going to give a random topic. You laid out a fact-based, data-enforced argument about, we'll say, immigration. And it was a 10-minute listen. It's how you always do things for the most part, leaving no stone unturned. Nobody could question your data. You could only question the conversation around the topic. He replied with, "Yeah, but you're a slut." And everybody laughed, and we moved to the next subject. And my response was, nothing got solved there. You just laid out an argument. He did what Bill does.
Well, interestingly, he is Maher is actually one of the he is a comedian.
Yep.
So he'll come back with a lot of stuff, and that's how you sweeten letting people listen to
right.
me, the facts. But interestingly, he's very smart.
Yep.
And a few politically corrects back. It was before I wrote I guess it was for my Adios America book tour. I think it was anyway. But if you can find it online, I don't know if it exists online, but he did one of those interviews on his real-time show with me at the beginning of the show, just on immigration. So it must have been for Adios America, and it was just one-on-one. And he was actually listening, and I think he kind of changed his mind, because I was pointing out to him, you're always talking about, how you have to do more for African Americans. Well,
Right.
how about stopping this dump of low-wage workers, taking their jobs away? If you really care about the working class and low-skilled workers, immigration, it's all for the elites. It's all for the plutocrats. It's devastating African Americans and leading to just skyrocketing unemployment numbers.
Well, and here's the other challenge for me is obviously when I mention your name in circles, people that aren't conservative hiss as if I'm talking about the Wicked Witch of the East. But you actually under Senator Abraham, you actually crafted legislation that would expedite deportation of illegals convicted of felonies. And
I can't believe you know that. Thank you. It's one of my proudest accomplishments.
Well, but here's the thing. And it's the thing I try to. We've been told we're the low information voter, right? The Trump supporters are the low information voter. In fact, I want you to hear this soundbite from Hillary last night about us as Trump supporters.
Be grossly generalistic. You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
Okay. So basically, if you do the math, and let's just say it's 50 million for each candidate, 12.5 million Trump followers are now all of those things.
No, it's really shocking. I mean, she's an unlikable person. I noticed that watching the forum this week. Not that I haven't noticed before. I could only watch like 5 minutes of it because she's still doing that honking, and I can't bear to listen to her. But Trump is such a likable person. Even if you're part of the elite and the plutocrats, and you want to keep this breakneck speed of bringing in third worlders into the country to take poor Americans' jobs. He's such a likable person, and he's gone out of his way to reach out to groups that normally don't vote Republican. He's going after the Sanders voters. He's going hard for African American voters, as he should. Obviously, he's going after Hispanic voters, the woman's vote. He's putting, Ivanka front and center. He says he's against abortion, but supports the other work that Planned Parenthood does. And she comes along and calls half of Trump's supporters deplorable and racist. Right. And sexist. It's far worse than Mitt Romney's 47% comment.
It feels like they are trying to create news cycles out of things that aren't actually news to divert attention, which they've kind of always done. But I keep going to the illegals in this country. In my opinion, voting for Hillary Clinton would be a vote to make this country like the country you left.
Yes.
And that's not a good thing. I don't look at. I mean, there is no upside
including for the immigrants.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've always said this idea that you're doing a favor for people, who left Guatemala, left Bangladesh. They wanted to come to America because we do have the country that works the best, that gleams the best, most successful in the world. But for some, small group of people, basically everyone in the media and everyone on our college campuses, all our professorate, no, they hate America. They want to replace Americans with different people. Once you realize that's their goal, it all comes into place. Because why else would you be hurting the working class and I mean, not just the working class anymore with the H-1B visas. And when we saw those Disney workers who are trained are forced to train their foreign replacements, that's every kind of
a
job.
Disney company, by the way, a Disney company, that all-inclusive, tolerant Disney that fired me. You know what? Another thing we have in common, and I'm dying to get a really smart person's take on this. How did I become a racist when I'm not?
Oh, yeah. No, that's I'm so glad you bring that up today, because I've noticed this about Trump. I'll start with him and then do me. His entire life, he's had a fantastic relationship with blacks. Employs a lot of African Americans. As soon as he announces, he has all these black celebrities, athletes endorsing him. His clubs, these fancy golf clubs in towns where there are a lot of restrictions, his clubs alone fully admit blacks, Jews, Asians, very unique that way.
Shaquille O'Neal.
10 years ago on Howard Stern, and somebody's got to find this tape. It may be online. He was asked, Stern tries to get people to say embarrassing things. And by the way, if you're planning on running for president, it might not be the greatest idea to do a lot of hits on Howard Stern for decades before.
Oh, there's a lot of fodder there before I go on Howard Stern. I know that.
But Stern is pressing him on, would you let Ivanka date a black man? And Trump says, oh, yeah, sure, I wouldn't mind. So for his entire life, never a racist, announces he's running for president, and suddenly racist.
Right. Well, and here's the other piece. Again, another thing. As a Christian, I'm pro-traditional marriage, but I'm not anti-gay marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean...
No, I know. Well, a little secret is most gays don't want gay marriage either.
Well, I haven't actually delved into that.
Angry gays who want to stick it in our faces.
Well, listen, your work on immigration in the past is to me is profound, and I want to get to another point. But the other thing I wanted, we got to a point where I feel like everything that Hillary or Bill has done is kind of water off a duck's back. No matter how bad it is, it's not as bad as we think it is. You helped defend Paula Jones in against Bill Clinton. This guy's a scumbag. He is and you've seen it. Well, he is. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And
I just like hearing someone speak so honestly.
Well, that will never be a problem. But I'd like to know, were you involved in it to the sense where you got to see him do and say things that people in public haven't seen?
Well, there's one, and I've not only I, but the few other people who heard it have told everyone we possibly can on the Linda Tripp tapes. Monica Lewinsky. I shouldn't be saying this on radio, but I'm going to.
Go for it.
She's describing the presidential member and tells Linda, think of a thumb.
Okay. Interesting. So,
I just think it's funny, and I want to spread it.
Yep, the Curt Schilling Show.
I write about this in my book, God Bless Donald Trump. No other Republican would have brought this stuff up. I promise you millennials had never heard of Monica Lewinsky, Paula Jones, Jennifer Flowers, Kathleen Willey. I have a lot of doctor friends in New York, and one was telling me about his female patients coming in and talking about how wonderful, Bill and Hillary are for women, and he just made some offhand remark about, and getting oral sex in the Oval Office. And the millennial said to him, what are you talking about? She literally had no idea, and he said, Google it.
Right.
Google it. And she Googles it while she's sitting there with her eyes popping out of her skull. No, this has been so effectively buried by the media, and I do not think another Republican would have done this. Only Trump has the balls to run a serious campaign.
Well, this is there are freshmen in high school who don't know what 9/11 is about, and I think this is a crucial weekend. So here I want to kind of narrate something real quick. Given your history on immigration and that we're in lockstep. I'm going to read you a couple headlines and then get to a point. And these are all around terrorist attacks. 10 members of a mosque phone in a false alarm and ambush and kill 1 and wound 3. That sounds like that's out of today's paper, right? April 14th, 1972 in New York. Okay. 17-year-old girl stabbed to death by her parents for dating an African-American infidel. 1989, St. Louis. Muslim targets a van.
I write about that
Yes.
one in Adios America. It was all on tape.
Yep.
Because I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is, I think, interesting. The FBI was looking at this guy for having terrorist ties.
Right.
So luckily, by coincidence, the apartment was wired. The wife defended him. The wife held the daughter down while the father stabbed her to death. That tape was played for the jury, and the jurors said afterwards, "I'll never get it out of my mind. It's worse than any horror film, anything I've ever heard." Yeah, that's a pretty stunning case.
St. Louis, by the way, not Baghdad, St. Louis, Missouri.
Right.
1989.
Right.
Muslim targets van with Jewish boys, killing a 16-year-old. March 94 in Brooklyn. Very religious Muslims detonate 2 bombs in a crowded public place, killing 3, wounding 264. The Boston bombing at the Marathon. And then extremist enters a building and shoots 40. The whole point of this is this is not something new. 1970, right? So we've known for 40 years these people are here and they're killing, and it's getting worse. Here's the terrifying thing to me. If Hillary Clinton gets her way, and immigration, we basically become, Syria and Iraq, where the border is like one road and open hundreds of miles. Come on in. You could possibly have, and Democrats have made it clear, I don't want you to have voting. Having ID to vote is racist. You could have relatives of terrorists that have killed Americans voting in the American election.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think an important point, and one I make in Trump We Trust, this has, liberals have got to stop calling everything racist, from, talking about Obama golfing, that's racist. Saying he's from Chicago, that's racist. I mean, they've kind of overdone this. But as for, people believing fundamentalist Muslims, believing in what the Quran says about killing infidels, this has nothing to do with you can't be born believing something. This is a set of beliefs we're talking about. We're not talking about someone who was born into a Muslim family and, likes pita and lamb. We're talking about someone who believes in the teachings of the Quran in terms of killing infidels. Right. That would be the same as in 1944 we're going through, an immigrant at Ellis Island and find a dog-eared copy of Mein Kampf.
Right.
I think we'd say no thanks.
Right.
This is a set of beliefs, and it's a set of beliefs that they say their religion teaches them to kill us.
Well, here's the thing. I've had the honor of being in the Middle East a couple different times and visiting, and I was in Baghdad, and I was shown a scene in person of basically literacy is non-existent in Iraq in a lot of ways. The only literate people are the radical imams that stand on the street corner reading the Quran as they interpret it to anybody that will listen. And that's good. But that's exactly why you have segments and sects of child terrorists who will wear a body vest and a bomb vest and go blow up. And listen, I cannot thank you enough. This has been awesome. Hopefully you will come back and we can talk and chat, and we can actually talk about you graduating from Cornell and Keith Olbermann graduating from Cornell School of Agriculture. But your new book, In Trump We Trust, is everywhere, as all your books are. It's a fascinating read, as they all are. If you haven't read them, get them. And thank you so much, and I hopefully we can get you back soon.
Absolutely. Great to talk to you, Curt.
Take care. Curt Schilling Show, 1-844-900-3838, 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com, at Garrick38 on Twitter. We'll be back in a minute.
The Curt Schilling Show.
Summer is here, and Liquor & More has just what you need for a special event or a night at home. And now you have 5 locations to choose from, with stores in Plymouth, Bourne, South Dennis, Wellfleet, and now South Yarmouth. Liquor & More continues their great service and outstanding value. Check out their incredible website. Go to liquorandmore.com and see their outstanding variety and value. So whether you're putting your feet up with your favorite beverage or planning a big summer bash, Liquor & More has what you need. Liquor & More, a proud supporter of life's memorable moments. Now in South Yarmouth, too.
Want more Curt Schilling? Yeah! Watch the Curt Cam at CurtSchillingShow.com. While you're there, check out Curt's store. Get an official Curt Schilling Show shirt or grab a Curt Schilling Show baseball hat. And if you like Curt and hate Hillary, we've got you covered with Curt's Hillary from Prison t-shirts. Curt Schilling all the time. Online, CurtSchillingShow.com.
At Granite State Indoor Range and Gun Shop, our range is not a gym in the typical sense, but we do encourage a certain type of exercise, and that exercise is called freedom. So majestic. For the month of July, and because it's America's birthday, we have a couple of sweet deals that'll help get a little extra freedom pumping through your veins. All month long, if you purchase a new firearm or take any one of our magnificent training classes, you get a free 60-day range pass. That means no lane fees for 2 months. On top of that, if you bring a new shooter to the range, we'll waive their lane fees just for trying us out. And remember, all new firearms purchases come with a lifetime warranty, try before you buy program, and a 30-day no-regrets policy. So come check out New England's friendliest range, firearm store, and training center. We're open and shooting 7 days a week, or you can visit our website anytime at granitestaterange.com to sign up for classes and get more information. And don't forget to like us on Facebook for the latest deals, and of course,
all these cat pictures! God bless America for these cat pictures!
Granite State Indoor Range and Gun Shop, purveyors of freedom.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contest and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. As many of you could probably guess, I love to shop. But you know what I don't love? Waiting in long lines at the dressing room and dealing with crowded parking lots at the mall. Or in my case, being bombarded by gaggles of adoring fans. Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I can imagine it'd be a hassle. But luckily for me, I can get all of my shopping done at the most convenient store in the country. The Howie Carr Show online store at howiecarrshow.com makes shopping easy, convenient, and most importantly, affordable. Whether I want a Hillary for Prison t-shirt or a copy of Brothers Bulger to read poolside, I always go to howiecarrshow.com. And when I'm on pug duty, I love whipping out my Hillary doggy poop bag to help clean up after Gunnar and Pearl. There is no better and cheaper store around than the Howie Carr Show online store. So go to howiecarrshow.com and click on store. There is always a great deal waiting for you, and I can guarantee all of your friends will be super jealous when you show up to the next BBQ decked out in the latest awesome t-shirt, courtesy of the captain himself. Go to howiecarrshow.com now. That's howiecarrshow.com. Click store.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Some athletes sit down. Not this guy. Standing up for America. It's Curt Schilling.
Oh, wow. This has been fun. Opening day, first ever show, Curt Schilling Show. You can call in 844-900-3838. It's the call-in number. Don't forget that. Text 680-680, CurtSchillingShow.com, and I'm at Garrick38 every Saturday. I will be on 9 to 12, and hopefully that we will grow and we will be worldwide and all the things go with that. But, you know, I got about 2 minutes left on a day like today, and I think it's absolutely apt and appropriate. I want to talk about stuff that moves the needle, and I want to move the needle. I think the way to do that is hopefully to give people something to think about that they may not be thinking about now. But 15 years ago tomorrow was an attack on this country that killed more people, more Americans than the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th. There were 2,403 casualties on December 7th, almost 3,000 killed and 6,000 wounded on 9/11. I want this country to get back to liking and thinking of itself the way we did September 12th, 2001. We are so far. Well, again, we had athletes that were, I think, and I don't know how much of a part of it. I wrote a letter to America that got a lot of exposure, which I was very proud of. And that actually is online. You can find that on Google. But athletes were kind of a bellwether. We stood for the anthem. There were athletes who had tears in their eyes, all the military stuff. We were so proud. 15 years later, we have teams threatening to sit on their asses for the national anthem. Now, listen, there are things that this country is not proud of. Slavery is one of them. All of those things that we have in our past, nobody but a racist would be proud of. But we passed the Civil Rights Act. There are laws on the books to treat everybody fairly. You're not going to get rid of racist people with laws. You only fix this with people. And listen, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, Steve, you couldn't vote if you were an African American. You couldn't play in the big leagues. 8 years ago, we elected an African-American president. 8 years later, we are more racially divided than we have ever been in my lifetime and any lifetime of the people I know. And that math, there's something incredibly wrong with that math. But at the end of the day, it's going to come back to us, the people, the citizens. This election is the most important election of our lifetime. The Supreme Court will be decided for your family, your generations to come. First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, and many other amendments. If you don't like either candidate, get informed about the implications of what will happen when both of them take office. This has been a blast. I'll be back next Saturday. The number 1-844-900-3838, CurtSchillingShow.com. Thank you, everybody that watched and listened.
Hey, Mr. Curt Schilling Show.
Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, New Manna is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality